but I thought I'd give this a try since I think she was saying like I thought it might appeal to my political ideology or something. And she went, and this was absolutely boring and crap. I went, wow, okay.
All right, well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 358. Everyone's overreacting to I Am Not Starfire. What an interesting title. This is a video that came out last week, I think. And this was before the release of the actual comic. I think the comic came out the date this was posted, so no one read it yet. And this is kind of like this person's reacting to people giving reactions of nothing because they haven't read the book. But many of us
they've seen previews.
They've read previews, they've seen some images, yeah. But people that are good at comics or good at reading or good at analyzing stuff can say, okay, there's going to be some problems off the bat. And I actually read a little bit of the comic. You could read it online rather quickly.
Yeah.
You know, there's some problems already, but you know, this could be someone's cup of tea. I'm sure it is someone out there, but the average comic book person, like the young man or a boy, probably wouldn't give a crap about this thing.
Even comic book reading girls won't like this unless they are this exact girl.
The problem is
borderline personality disorder.
Well, let's
everything.
Let's not start analyzing the character because you have to actually read the comic. But
the
problem is
that's the first impression this gives.
Yeah, the problem I see is that the level of attraction, I talk about this in my book, the level of attraction of this character is very low. And it's not just how she looks. It's her personality, it's her motive, it's her skills. Like, she openly does not want to go to college. She openly does not care. She skips school. She gets jealous. There's all these things you're like, okay, I could like an element of this. Like, I could like an evil character because of how he kills someone or how he plans something. But this character is like your generic female going through high school and about to graduate, and there's nothing I latch onto. I'm like, there's nothing, like, she's rebellious, she's unattractive.
She comes across as the girl where you just know that she'll do some horrific crime and then she'll blame her upbringing, even though her parents love her,
right?
Gave her everything.
You just keep supporting my initial claim. Thank you.
Well, the thing is, this is like a side story of an overarching story. Like when I read a Neil Gaiman comic like The Sandman, in Sandman, the story is not always about Sandman. Obviously, that's the overarching plot. But in those comics, like A Game of You or The Wake, The Wake has the story of Lita Hall. Lita Hall is actually a character in DC Comics, but Gaiman took that character and transformed them a bit and gave us a slice of life. And she's part of that ongoing story. This is like one of those episodes of one of those comics where if there was some overarching plot, like, I don't know, some end of the world or some other character plotting something, and then all of a sudden we jump into this slice of life with this girl, you're like, oh, that's different. And it's just this typical average girl, not much going for her, not too smart, not too attractive. She's got problems. She's a lesbian. She has all these weird, goofy friends that are also lesbians. I don't know. So I couldn't tell what. One of them was a guy, looked like a butch. I couldn't tell. So
all I know is by doing a bit of research on the person who made this, pretty much every single original character she creates, because she's done a lot of comics and stuff.
Oh yeah, she's a talented writer. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of her characters are literally self-inserted her.
Okay, well, the problem with self-inserts, and this is going to come up in the video as well, is there's nothing inherently wrong with that, provided there is a creative element to...
Yeah, I understand that. My thing is, once, okay, that's nice. Twice, okay. 3 times, you're like, hold on a second, can you only do you?
Well, the problem is because...
I wouldn't call that creative and talented.
Well, okay. The thing with comics, because it's visual, it shows really quickly. And that was the initial joke. Because you see the visual of the writer, you see the visual of the comic, you're like, that's pretty darn similar. Yeah. And I don't...
But in her most famous one is about a chubby, not slim, Japanese American teenage girl who doesn't really fit in, and you're like, hold on, that sounds very similar to what this character is in I'm Not Starfire.
Mhm.
So I looked up the other one she did, and it involved two girls going through growing up, and one of them was a chubby Japanese American girl, and I'm like, well, hold on, this is free. Two of her most famous ones, the ones that even the Wikipedia article links to, are just her self-inserts. And I looked up her other stuff. It's like, she can't really make Spider-Man a fat Asian woman. So,
okay, well,
I guess she's.
the idea is behind a writer, they're usually good at one thing, and you can't fault them for doing that one thing well. So if you're going to hire a writer to write a teenager lesbian, if you want to get a lesbian writer to write a lesbian character, fine, makes perfect sense. Like, I don't care if that's what she's good at. Good for her. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the character well written? That is the problem. Is there something attractive, even if she's unattractive? That can be like visually unattractive. That can be an element of attraction to the audience to say, oh, how is she going to do in a beauty contest? How is she going to do flirting? How is she going to do with this or that? That's interesting. I want to know. So there's lots of elements which you consider negative, which we know are negative because I read a little bit and I was like, oh, this is not very good, which you can be attracted to.
Did you read the part where she complains about the fact that she's not getting a car for her 17th birthday with a massive on it?
There was a whole spiel about her birthday. I did not remember that line, but it was.
I remembered it because it's that because that stuck with me as in like, I don't like this person.
Yeah,
that one just made me go. No, I've met too many women, not even women, just people.
Yeah,
like that.
The plot is just basically a day in the life or a few days in the life of this person, and she doesn't like her mom and her friends because they're superheroes, and she's just a kid. And what ends up happening, there is no plot. Stuff happens. Her aunt comes by to kill them because evil aunt plot, I guess. And she saves the day. She gets superpowers, and she gets the girl. And you're like, wow, it didn't go anywhere. It had to do something. So
this sounds like a bad fetish story on Fiction Mania.
It's the only thing that I liked was the art style, not the actual design of the characters, because the characters look goofy and weird, but the coloring is very good. It feels like it was drawn like in a Photoshop app or some sort of digital software that does.
I thought you were going to say it was done in Flash. I was like,
I was thinking of Flash, but it was like it's not quite vector art, but it's pretty close. Yeah.
The question is can good visuals save a bad writing?
If that's the point, if that's the point of the medium, and I think people who buy this say, "Oh, it looks great. There's lots of color."
Is this the point of the medium?
I don't think so. No.
Well, to be honest with you, to answer that question, I'll say this. One of my favorite art styles with stuff is it Jim Lee when he's doing like with Frank Miller with stuff, and I really enjoy the art style of. I'm going to say this: All-Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder. But I find that the entire comic book is an absolute waste of time, and that it's story-wise, it's shockingly bad and should be burned. But I like
art style doesn't save the comic because Mario Kart, one of the most hated comics that have a decent to mediocre art style, and even then the story is.
If your stuff's so bad that it's not pirated, it's really bad.
Yeah,
it's just. I mean, that was ocular reasoning, but you know what I mean.
This is the DC trying to get the YA market. I don't think it is.
Yeah, that's not how you tap into that.
Yeah,
because the majority of girls don't want that either.
I'll be honest. The emo goth girl phase.
This is not even a good goth girl. This is not.
Hold on. Yeah, what I'm saying is, even that phase, the second round of that, the third round of that phase, because it came up in the early 2000s, then 2012, and came back in 2016, but it was gone by 2017 again. It's been gone for 4 years. This style of this style being really mainstream. So it's you're aiming for an audience that really doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I
and
like
the
the
actual,
video.
the solid, the core of the goth scene has nothing to do with this crap. Wouldn't buy this, wouldn't consider this, has higher standards, and wouldn't dress like a clown, because this looks like a clown costume.
Oh God!
On top of that,
if you look through the comic, she changes her outfit several times because she goes to school and whatever. There's only the only one that looks good or reasonably attractive is as a schoolgirl. Everything else, even her final costume, looks horrible. Like they look bad. So
that also fits my experience with the borderline types. They have absolutely no sense of aesthetics.
Well, what's going to happen in the video? We're going to see some fixes to
in that sense. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
We're going to see some cover art that was doctored by other artists to make her look attractive, and that's a good attempt. I mean, if you're going to give me a character who's intentionally unattractive, then you got to work with that. You can't just, hey, she's unattractive and let's work with it. It's like, no, let's just do something. Why she's unattractive? Why is that a big deal? And focus on that psychological element of, I'm not my mom, I'm not beautiful, I'm not tall, I'm not strong, I'm not brave. Work with that, as opposed to her just getting jealous when the girl she's interested in comes over to her house to get a selfie with the rest of the superheroes. And she posted it on her Instagram or whatever, and she's like pissed off because they were supposed to come over to work, and they did, but she didn't know about that.
Yeah, well, if these Hawk, it would be interesting to know how these other self-insert characters are personality-wise, because this might really reflect back on the character of the writer, and that.
Well,
it's scary.
I didn't really go too far into details with it. I just skimmed over like the Wikipedia articles.
Well, okay. As I said before, self-insert is neither good nor bad, and I give the example of Sandman again because if you look at Sandman,
it's all right. It's all right.
It looks like Neil Gaiman did, 20, 30 years ago. But that's
I
not
agree, but
his
Sandman
character.
is a completely different character
Sandman's
from
a
Neil
god.
Gaiman.
He can change his shape at any time. It doesn't make a difference.
It's not about the powers. It's not about the powers. Sandman himself is a different character than Neil Gaiman as a person.
Oh yes, I'm not disagreeing.
It's a different personality. I doubt that maybe an aspect of Neil Gaiman is this gloomy guy. Okay, yeah, sure.
Well,
but it's not. This is not him, and this is not a glorification of himself.
Certainly, and when you see his other character, like the Devil, and he says, "I just want you to look like David Bowie," and he asks his artist to draw. Just draw me David Bowie. He's like, "How do you want?" There's lots of versions. Just draw David Bowie. It's like, that's okay, fine. We're gonna do David Bowie.
Yeah,
as the Devil.
Yeah. But my only thing is, like I say, self-insert is not bad. It's the problem that when I started looking through this person's what would you call it? Comicography or whatever.
Comicography, I like that word.
Yeah, because you got discography and filmography for like musicians, and so comicography for the writer. When it came down to every original character I could find was a
question.
Chubby.
What did I think he is her father? It doesn't appear to be Dick Grayson because her natural hair color is ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Dick Grayson.
So I will speculate the father is Wally West.
Well, the thing is, the father's not in the picture, and there's actually a date night where Starfire is at her house and she bakes some weird muffins or something, and she walks into this, whatever, the guy comes over and says hello, and she's really like, she doesn't like him. She's really uncomfortable around. It's like, okay, like what is just everything she does is like constantly getting her uncomfortable and doesn't want to be around people. And you're like, okay, that's fine.
I'm just
maybe
reading
to close up.
I'm reading right now, and one of the pages, page 10, the girl do a food, noodles and hot dogs. Here in Brazil, this is actually part people's food or white trash.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, hot dogs and spaghetti are like, isn't that from the what was that? The Big Bang Theory? Sheldon kept eating that stupid shit, and he thinks it's Italian food.
But that's hot dogs and noodles is really common here in Brazil.
Really?
And she's super rich. I don't know if it is the only thing that the Starfire teacher, or it's just there to be there.
See, that I actually enjoyed, because Starfire's kind of that weird alien, and she's still a weird alien, and she sees trying to be human as this awkward thing, but she does it with glee. So it makes sense that she wouldn't know that, and what's her name would just go along with it. But it's fine.
Mandy is the name of the kid.
Mandy, yeah.
Hot dog
which is Mandy is in Germany. That's a lower class trash name in Rheinland-Pfalz.
Which is weird because she's rich as fuck.
Yeah, but it's
really rich.
The name Mandy is associated with a dumb, trashy slut.
Okay, thank you.
Simple as that. That's
you
Germany
for the culture information.
Yes. And in to close up the self-insert topic, so I agree fully. Self-insert in some form is not a problem, but where we always get a problem is when these types of people with these personalities do the self-inserts. When we have writers who seem, and it's reflected in their characters, seem utterly narcissistic or worse. Gayman isn't that. But this very likely seems to be that. And we seem to see that in other of these works. The Riri Williams thing was interesting. For they got a writer on it. They replaced the original writer. I forgot the name. I'm horrible with names. I'm sorry. And faces.
Question. Why her friend is Lincoln, and all of a sudden she said also Lincoln is an anarchist.
Oh, well, okay.
Why
guys, hold on.
Nevis, too much chaos.
So, right. Should we just start the video and see what the actual person in the video is saying? Because we could really just keep going for hours.
Yeah. Guys, honestly, if you want to read the comic, just do a Google search. It's the 4th or 5th result. Go crazy. Have fun.
I will place it.
Okay.
I'll put the link to the comic in the chat.
Anyway, here's Joe Crazy. We're going to go through some super chats. Hey, it's Starfire's daughter's Dumpster Fire. Oh, okay. Strawman. Smug, how dare you? This character is groundbreaking, I tell. I mean, just look at the pavement. It's shattered as bad as when the Hulk does a body slam.
I like that one. I'm going to use that one in the future.
Strawman, thanks again. News at 11. Summed love cubby Asia schoolgirls. What? Some
chubby.
Love cubby Asia's. I don't know.
Somebody loves chubby Asian schoolgirls.
Something like that. I don't know. Joe Crazy. Spaghetti with hot dogs is something we call struggle food.
That's an interesting name.
Struggle food.
You know what struggle food? You know what real struggle food is? Minion shaped spaghetti.
Oh wow.
Oh god. Last thing I wanna add before we start is I was reading reviews of this comic and skimming through them, and all the 1-star things have problems with the quality of the writing for the most part. And I've read one that stood out to me was one who claimed to be working with teenagers and saying that teenagers do not want this, and it makes the world more bleak. It shows a world where you don't want to be in, because it's not a story where the character aspires to something but just wants to run away from stuff and rejects everything that's in any way positive, really. So that was the types of negative reviews of this, and the 5-star reviews were all for political reasons. Oh, this is getting review bombed, therefore I'm giving this 5 stars. Haha, you misogynists! You just don't like women. It's not made for you.
That's the argument. Yeah.
And these are the two types.
Wisp.
The upvotes are ideological. The downvotes are about quality and content.
All right. 3 more to go. Tyler Preston, thank you for the donation. A common critique of the book is that the character Mandy would have been a shy girl that completely contrasts against Corey's outgoing attitude, which makes more sense than being angry. I've also heard people compare the comic to the show Daria. I think Daria is a bit more level-headed and smart, whereas this girl just does not care. She is fed up. She doesn't want to go to college, and that's it. That's her character. She doesn't want anything else. She's a lesbian. She's got weird hairstyles, and she colors her hair, and she has a weird friend, and they have weird friends. It just like, do you want to read a story about a little girl or a high school girl from some part of the world? Like, that's all you're doing. It's like there's no escapism. It's just, oh, Starfire's kid.
Yeah. It sounds like Daria is actually entertaining. Sounds like wanting to prop your bullshit up by attaching yourself to something better. Hawk?
Yeah, I'm just saying, did I cut out for a second? Because everybody went silent.
Yes.
Like halfway through what Wisp was saying. Right, okay, no, that's fine.
What?
I thought, it's fine.
All right. Okay, 2 more. Let's keep going. Vladimir Dragunov, thank you. So given recent events, who is worse, EA or Blizzard Activision? What did Blizzard do today? I have no idea.
The several accusations and the California lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. Bunch of sexual misconduct by like dozens of people or something.
So far, EA is being the good guys.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
They just suck at paying people for overtime and taking them to court.
No, guy, it's just that EA is just less evil.
Yeah. Which government would you like? This one or the worst one? I don't know.
Yeah. Never say, oh, wow, these people are like the good guys. No, they're still just the less evil people. Yeah. It's like the Riddler is less evil than the Joker. Doesn't mean he's the good guy.
We have $1 billion industry, and they're killing every media out there. You're going to get some bad apples. So
I was watching the upper echelon gaming videos about the Blizzard thing, and things are getting dicey there.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know the news, so I didn't talk about it, but I did see a blurb, and I was like, 17 or 34 people were all accused. It was like, holy crap.
Yeah, there's some rumors about a BlizzCon room called Cosby something.
God, that's, yeah.
All I know
is companies are full with SJWs now. I'm not surprised they have sexual harassment issues.
Come on, guys. Let's all just admit that Blizzard is really glad that Chris Chan happened at the exact same time.
Oh God.
They're just like, there's that meme in it. It's like, I need something to help out. It's like, Chris Chan, that'll do nicely.
Could it be the other way around, that Chris Chan happens and everybody thinks this is the time to do the bad thing?
It was such weird because it was all 3 days. Like Blizzard, Chris Chan, what?
God.
All in 3 days, 3 things, super important things happened.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, here's White Knight Leo. We'll get started. Why does the child of 2 of the fittest people in DC Comics literally look like a pig in a wig, aside from the self-insert from the author? Well, when we saw the meal she was preparing, which was spaghetti and whatever, you're like, okay, this could explain a few things to me. Because if you eat like that all the time, and your mom is so positive and happy, it's like, okay, yeah, something's going on here. So that's what I got. Because Starfire, as a mom, probably not the best mom, but she does have her moments where she's wants her sister or her daughter to go to school and protect her daughter.
The implication that all the Martians are like that?
She's Iranian. I think that for human standards, she's not. Human or Earthling standards, she's not the best one, but she tried. At least as I saw
I can imagine her as the Oedipal hippie mom.
I don't know. It's hard because her character is just happy. Like, that's her character. She's just smiling and happy and positive, and you're like, all right.
She's like an adult Starfire from the Teen Titans cartoon.
Right. Anyway,
It is exactly
can't-
the same personality.
I can only imagine her as a supportive mom, and that could never create this personality here.
I mean,
Never.
I'm reading right now the comic. Starfire's personality is exactly like the personality from the old cartoon. Like she doesn't know any.
So she's still 16.
Goofy. Yeah, she's goofy. She doesn't know how humans work very well. From that age, I think that she would make sense that she would know how humans actually act because
her
I
language
think there
skills
are-
are still as dumb as they were.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that I lack the comic knowledge here, but I am pretty sure there are other comics with adult Starfire.
Oh yeah.
I would
yeah.
assume she's a bit more developed there.
Oh god, yeah. Kingdom Come is the best example I could think of, where she
in the
does.
old comics,
She has a
yes.
kid called Marie, I think. I can't remember her name.
Yeah. I just remembered from the reviews I was skimming. Some of the complaints also went about this overwriting the actual canon or established stories that already existed,
Sure.
where Starfire and Nightwing have a kid,
Right.
and that is just that is essentially being replaced by this story.
Yeah, but that's fine. You could do all these kinds of crazy things
I don't
in
know,
comics.
because-
That's fine. I don't mind that. It's
I
how it's
don't know
done that matters.
Yeah, but the question is, why do you do it when you do it like shit?
Well, if you're going to hire a Japanese artist or writer or whatever to come by and say, I want you to take this IP, and they say, I want to do this. And you're like, all right. I mean, we hired you for a reason. That's why. So they're going to give them some creative control. And that's fine. That's the comic book world. That happens all the time. So why she didn't use the existing character, I don't know. But
You can see in the
because
process
the
of the
simple
making whether this is
fact-
gonna work or gonna be shit, and you can
honestly,
just
it
burn
could.
the project in the middle of it.
You had
and
enough
say, this is-
elements. I mean, she's a good writer. Let's just say she knows what she's doing. She should have got hired because you don't hire crap. Although arguably, I could be wrong. But if you get talent like the artist and the writer, they could have worked with that story a lot differently, and made it appeal to more than one demographic. Because I don't know who the demographic is for. I still don't know.
Borderline girls.
No, hold on. The demographic is for the creator, and everyone else can get stuffed because that's all that matters.
That's what I think. Hawk. I think that's the thing. Yeah, it feels like she just wrote it because she wanted to write it. And
This was supposed to be to YA audience. I don't know, teenage girls that go to school.
Let's be honest. There's no such thing as the YA audience ever since Harry Potter came around, because it brought in. No offense, they say it brought in mature things, but since then, the lines between what teenagers read and what adults read has been so blurred, you can't separate them.
There's no homogeneous YA audience.
Yeah, let's put it this way.
That's also not
let's just put it this way. You've got people in their mid-30s squealing about stuff that you'd expect 14-year-olds to be reading. That's the thing. It's with books and comics and everything. It's not the same with like TV shows or video games or movies, because you can read stuff and imagine stuff, or with comics, read stuff. Your imagination works differently, so you can insert yourself more easily into that, and that's why this whole idea of a young adults audience, it's like no. Once you get past Spot Goes to the Park and Thomas the Tank Engine, you're throwing yourselves into most stories have got mature themes in it, to the point where adults can also enjoy it.
All right, one more.
Yeah, and I'm telling
get
you,
going. Okay, so we haven't played it. So, Francis,
I
want to.
I'm just waiting.
We will. Don't worry. Daria was frustrated with the world around her. Yeah, she was sarcastic, but she didn't blame others for her problems. She was confused about the direction in life. But this kid seems to be angry that she was born. If you want edgy kid of a hero done well, look at Damian Wayne.
Who's that?
Batman's
Damian's son
Okay.
with Talia al Ghul.
Okay, not Nightwing?
No.
I don't know the
No.
Batman things.
Right,
sorry.
Nightwing is Dick Grayson.
Damien
Okay.
is a bit of a Mary Sue, unfortunately, and
Damien's
been-
no. Let's no. Hold on.
Sorry.
Damien isn't a Mary Sue. Damien's just a fucking cunt. So who? Let's put it this way: people would rather see Damien get bludgeoned by the Joker with a crowbar than Jason Todd. That's how bad Damian Wayne is.
he's not very likable, but he does get better as they fix him. So
Well, let's put it this way. What was it? It was the animated movies. What was it? Batman versus Robin or something. And there's a scene where Batman kicks the crap out of, starts kicking the crap out of Damian Wayne, and like that video on YouTube is really well liked. But then the later scene where Damian Wayne wins the fight is disliked and is like ratioed to hell.
Look at this! Look at this phrase.
Funny.
There is foreshadowing mental illness in connection to Danish history.
What?
What is
What?
that?
What do you want about
I
here?
read the comic. I read the comic right now, and I saw that.
Matthias,
Chaos.
I know you're reading the comic, but at least give us some context as to what page you're on.
Don't make
I
text
am on. I think page 20. I posted the link
not
on the.
numbers. Does not have numbers at the bottom.
At least on this page, not. At least on this
right.
page, not. I using the site page.
All right. Well, anyway, let's just start the video
All right.
and just
let's go.
see what's
Oh
said.
no. Oh no.
SpyV, everyone, here we go. Anytime.
When something caught my attention, specifically this screenshot showed up on my feed, showing the trailer for something called I Am Not Starfire.
That's
and
a
as
nice
you can
ratio.
tell, people were really
Look at the
not
ratio.
happy about this one, and it essentially became the internet's punching bag for the day. I instantly thought, I bet this is going to be another snowflake and safe space debacle. Some more of that good old out-of-touch corporate pandering that is so incredibly fun to rip into. So I watched the trailer, gleefully anticipating whatever monstrosity these corporate cronies had cooked up for us.
You know that someone mentioned, what was it, Daria earlier?
Mm-hmm.
The character, doesn't she give off those sort of vibes with her voice?
Vibes of what?
Nah, she has too much emotion in it. Daria is more apathetic.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying it's exactly the same. I'm just saying I have a feeling that this person connected with the depressed, fat Asian kid because
Although
I believe
she's not fat and Asian, just depressed.
probably. Yeah.
Well,
the way she-
anhedonic, more anhedonic than depressed.
Yeah, the way it sounds like she's going to connect to this character because it's like, oh, I connect with her because I too was utterly depressed for absolutely no reasons during my teenage years and made everyone's life a living hell and misery and just thought about myself. Like, cool. That's what it sounds like to me.
So she has lots of hairstyles in the comic. So
By the way, this frame here,
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh.
this art looks like shit.
Yeah, it is.
the comic is very colorful. So this is just one specific scene. Don't worry.
Colorful and good art are different things. You can have
there
very
is-
colorful shit.
There is a design element which I do like. It's very well composed. The scenes, the frames. The art style itself, I don't, but it is attractive to look at because of the color palette and the simple shading style, which I do appreciate.
Yeah. You don't feel like you're getting a migraine from looking at it.
Right, and like what's her name? She doesn't look too good. Like Starfire.
Look at her right arm.
Yeah, listen, guys, it's better than Gotham High. Let's just fucking take what we can get.
Yeah.
Forgot that one.
Come on, yeah, come on. It's one of those things where this does not make me want to scoop my eyes out with rusty spoons. It's okay.
All right.
Gotham High art
And
was
my
really
first
bad.
reaction after the trailer was, confusion, because nothing in that trailer seemed that odd or pandering or out of place. It struck me as a pretty normal trailer for a young adult graphic novel, so I figured I had to be missing something. So I started digging, and I found out that some videos have already been made about this, and people had already started speaking about this topic some months ago, so I decided to check it out, and I am still mostly confused. So that's what we're doing today. Going over what we know about I Am Not Starfire, what the internet has been saying about it, and why I think that a lot of the reaction and backlash to it is way out of proportion.
The thing is, the moment we saw the character design is that we knew what this would be. And that's mostly accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that. She doesn't, because she's like, hey, you don't know. You haven't read it. It's like, yes, but we've seen this happen before.
Do you think this is the standard young adult stuff? I don't know what she's been reading before.
Yeah, the major problem
is there's no consistent big young adult audience either. So this would be the super extreme niche where you have 5 people who might like this. But for example, I wasn't part of the Harry Potter hype. In part, I was reading my own fantasy with harder rules. I was reading Wheel of Time at the time, and don't watch the show; it's crap. And all the co-workers of my mother thankfully not, but all the co-workers of my mother were into Harry Potter. And I made comparisons with me looking like that when I had still short hair. Like it just made me not want to read it even more. So it's not one big thing. There are like different, I don't know, patches, nations of young adult audiences. I don't know. But this, I don't know what this is supposed to.
Well, remember the young adult audience with books and everything split really. With like,
I mean, you have things like Hunger Games and Twilight that has
but you also
that taps into the female young audience.
Yeah, but we also had Divergent as well. Does everyone remember Divergent or Maze Runner? Do you remember those?
I like the first. I like the first movie, as silly as it was.
Do you remember the books? Those happened.
There were books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
9 out of 9 young adult movies made from the year 2007 to 2015 were based on young adult novels or books.
That barely anyone read, I suppose.
That barely anybody read yet.
Trying to cash in on the Hunger Games market.
Trying to cash in on the Harry Potter market, because even the Hunger Games cashed in on the Harry Potter market.
Man, I should really just finish that bloody story and just sell the license and now make a young adult movie. That will be shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the thing that I'm the thing that I'm going to say to get back onto the video is the reason why we can make these sort of predictions, and I know it sounds really weird and strange, but we weren't all born yesterday on the internet. We've seen this happen so many times already that
it's just reruns in with the, I don't know, with different brightness and contrast settings.
Yeah, it's just like
well,
imagine people on the internet. It's like dealing with a kid freshly out of university, and they tell you something, and you're just like, yeah, I know. I was saying that when I was at university. And they're like, oh, right. And it's like, yeah, also, these other people who left like years after you did were saying the exact same stuff. It's like, yeah, we've been through this whole thing before. You're not the first one to come up with it. Yeah, so when we see stuff like I Am Not Starfire, it's like, right, we know. Guys, get out, break the little glass with a little hammer. We know what kit we need to get out to deal with this.
Yeah, or when the 18 to 22-year-old tells you, I had this epiphany about life and existence and struggle and this one media thing, and you sit there 10 years older or 20 years older and think, yeah, I've had that too at your age. Some will say earlier, some will have had it later. But okay, you're not telling me anything new. But good that you have developed, that you made it a step up. There's 20 more steps until you are where I am, but then you will be as old as I am, and then there will be 18 to 22-year-olds that you will look down upon with, you finally figured out how a flashlight works. Congratulations.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going. Here's Dick and Farty. Hey, thanks for the $1, Dick and Farty. I think Francis meant the comic version of Damien. The animated films do him a disservice. Oh, okay. Now, as the current comic, it's definitely inspired by Steven Universe. The chalky pastel color palette, lack of shadows, the mundane features.
The comic of
the one we're watching.
The one we're watching, yeah. Sorry, my words failed my head. I don't know what's happening.
I am dumpster fire.
I would not go that far. That is a bit. You're pushing way too far. So the art style is very different.
No. I'm talking about me. I think I'm having a bit of a stroke because I'm really struggling with words right now.
How much beer have you been drinking today, Hawk?
I'm actually drinking lemonade, so
really?
I've drunk no beer. That might be the problem.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. There we go. See, I had a Kostritzer today, which is Schwarz beer. So
Kostritzer.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's okay.
It's the German Guinness, kind of, sort of, not really.
Kind of, sort of, not really. Well,
But what's your problem, Hawk?
No, it's just the way that it went from. It's a German Guinness, kind of, maybe, not really. It's like, oh, so no then.
It's got some depth. We'll give it that. It is interesting beer,
yeah.
No,
there's no problem. I'm just giggling at how sometimes you say something and then just go straight to, well, no, not really. Actually, you're like, okay.
It is its own thing. I've had other stouts. I've had other dark lagers. We have a few in Ontario, actually, and it's more similar to those than a stout, but pretty good. Anyway, sorry to jump off topic, but we'll get back to the video right now.
Oh no, Smud, jumping off topic. That's not like this on here.
Don't worry. We'll get back.
I Am Not Starfire is an upcoming young adult graphic novel written by Mariko Tamaki and illustrated by Yoshio
Look at her!
According to the summary, the main character is Mandy, the superpower-less daughter of Starfire and an undisclosed father. 17-year-old Mandy has grown up in the spotlight and has felt pressured to measure up to her mother's fame and legacy. But she doesn't feel like she can do that and instead wants to bypass the traditional college route, which would go against her mother's expectations, and travel to France. But a wrench gets thrown in her plans when she starts crushing on fellow student Claire, who she likes and seemingly wants to stay near.
Hold on. Everyone thinks that Mandy needs to go to college and become whoever you become at college, but Mandy has other plans. Mandy's big plan is that she's going to move to France and do whatever people do in France. Yeah, they go to college at 18.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no plot. She's just, I don't want to go to college. I want to go to France. She has a little panel.
This is a really bad innuendo.
What the fuck?
How break noises in France?
Think of it like you're going to the store and you want.
And that's not a big plan.
Yeah, that's
an I want to elope.
Yeah, this is like instead of choosing ice cream flavor A, I'm going to choose ice cream flavor B. I like it's not a scenario. It's not a conflict. It's just I don't want X, and everyone's like, "Well, why not?" It's like I don't. You're like, okay, and then the story just keeps going.
She say that because she doesn't want to get the student debt.
Yeah, but that's just her randomly.
Oh, come on! You don't want to get student debt. No, just go to France at 17. Yeah, because that's
exactly what she said in the comic. Okay.
How are you gonna emigrate to France at 17? What are you doing?
Yeah, what skills?
Are you making money? Are you going to college?
This is such a non-issue in the story. It just gets glossed over within one panel. and it's never
No,
great.
It's,
It's a retarded setup.
It is dumb. It is very dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to point out was when you're talking about good writing, when
This is not it.
something's in this, yeah, it's so dumb, but you have to go, well, we'll gloss over that. It's like, okay then.
All right. Anyway, here's the Thomas the Anne Frank engine. Thanks for the donation.
Are we going to be demonetized because of that?
Anyway, here's the actual message. Seriously, Starfire and Nightwing are basically carved out of wood. How did their daughter get so fat? Again, this is not Nightwing's kid.
It is not that Nightwing's
It's a penguin daughter.
We have no
It also
idea.
explains the personality disorder.
We have no idea who Starfighter had a liaison with. I don't know.
It was obviously Beast Boy, but when he was in hippo form. Let's just accept that.
No,
Does Starfire?
I think it is Wally West because Wally is actually ginger.
Okay. Does Starfire have actual fructose corn syrup stored in her titties or something? Also, of course, she has a token gay best friend in the comic too. Was that a gay guy or a gay girl? I had no idea. It was just some person
I
called
thought
Lincoln.
it was a girl. I
thought
really
it was a girl too.
girl.
Just a very butchy girl. I was like, what? Who's this person? What is going on here? But
Could
all the
be a
friends,
guy.
yeah, all the friends that in her little group, not the later in the story, but in the group, they're all weird looking. They're all like goofy. Like, what the? Who are these people? Where is this place? People don't look like this. Anyway.
Yeah,
What
I
is
do
this
like
generation?
Color their hair, shave their hair, wear weird glasses.
Yeah, everyone.
Mental asylum.
Well, I'm just reading. Obviously, we're paused on the screen. I'm just reading the next bit down. How do you become the person you're supposed to be when you don't know what that is? How do you become the person you're supposed to be when the only thing you're sure of is what you're not? Well, then that's the person you are. Then, if you find out everything you're not, you're obviously the opposite of that.
Usually,
So
when
that's
you
the
go
person.
through grade school and high
You would
school,
think.
you have an interest or two that you're like, I want to pursue math or I want to pursue drawing or whatever. And that's why you go to college to get a degree in those things or a diploma in some trade. That's it. That's why you do that, to be part of the workforce. You get a job and make your living that way. So
what I find funny is I didn't know what I wanted to be at 16, 17. If I went back in time and spoke to 17-year-old me, I'd probably slap 17-year-old me and say, "Don't be stupid."
Well, you know
That's
what?
not how this works.
Some people, when they get to that age, and they're smart guys, they know math and science or whatever, they take a general arts and science because through that, they can transition to another major or focus on a diploma or whatever they want to do. They haven't figured it out yet, but they know that they have to go do something. They can't just travel the world.
Yeah, this is why I went and did like accountancy, basic office stuff. Did things that I thought, well, listen, if I can't decide what to do, I need something to fall back on to, live.
Oh yeah, they do not teach that in school. In grade and high school, they do not teach money, accounting, taxes. They don't teach any of that, which is weird.
Yeah, so I went out my way to go like, listen, this is what I might need if I don't make it in whatever my brain says you're going to make it as, so that I can just fit into the workforce as needs be. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens. I'm sorry to say this, but you very rarely get to do the job that you want to do. And you very rarely get to live the life that you want to do. The best thing you can do is have a contingency plan for if things fail. Sort yourself out that way and then go for your dreams.
Yes.
You're most likely not going to work in the field that you're studying.
Right. Like, I wasn't expecting to be drinking Schwarzbier and then later having a Smudcast where we talk about comic books. So
Starfire. I am not Starfire,
Consider the most important thing you get from university is that you learn how to study. Because if you have mastered that is what your degree implies, that you can study technically anything on your own, that you can work on your own, and that is what an employer wants.
Yeah.
The field is a bonus if that matches up. But what the employer wants it wants to know is, can this person accumulate knowledge and comprehension on his or her own and apply that? Because then you can do anything. Then you can really do anything.
Whereas if you just say, I want to go to France, and do what French people do, you're like, okay, we're not going to hire this person.
Well, there are stories of people from growing up in the 50s and 60s. They want to travel Europe first, get that out of the way, and then once they've done all that, go to school, figure themselves out, get on with life.
Yeah, it's called a gap year.
Honestly, who wants to go to France? There's
it's full of
better
French
place.
Nowadays,
Yeah, it's so weird because Europeans don't travel Europe.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
unless you're Italian, then you go to Sweden or
Go to Switzerland and at least go to, I don't know, the UK or Portugal. Don't go to
Portugal's
France.
nice. Yeah, Portugal's nice.
Yeah, in
there's
France
a
you only need to you only have to help put out of the church fires all the time. It gets annoying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's another problem that Hawk already pointed out, is full of French.
Yeah, it's full of French, yeah. And especially, and also do not, and I repeat, do not call people from Paris French if you do travel to France. Because they do not class themselves as French. I'm just warning anybody out there foolish enough to do so.
What do they call themselves?
Parisian, something like that.
Yeah, Parisian.
All right.
It's a bit like Austria with Vienna. But
Yeah,
probably more
it's like
extreme.
the Spanish and Catalan. Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
In the French hierarchy, the French hate hierarchy is that the French people hate Parisians, and Parisians hate Parisians and French.
Mm-hmm.
And the Quebecois.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But that's, universal. So, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Near.
Let's
As
go.
this is happening, Mandy's evil and powerful aunt shows up, and now Mandy has to make choices
For
between
no
the life
reason.
she wants to live and the life that she's being thrust into. The novel will be released on the 27th of this month.
Have you
Yeah,
played
it's got
Royal
that-
There are
Music?
several reasons that I've been able to gather as far as why people are not happy about this and why there has been this intense backlash to the novel. The arguments range from fair enough to my brain still cannot comprehend why this is being said. I will be referencing some other videos on the topic and popular comments under these videos, as DC has turned the comments off on the trailer. Can't use that too much as a source. I've also had some people give me their inputs on Twitter and on Discord, so let's crack into it. Obviously, not every single argument made will be in this video. I just tried to pull the major ones out. One issue I've seen people bring up is that Mandy is not Nightstar or Mary Grayson, who is the most popular daughter of Starfire in the DC universe. I can't understand wanting to see a more popular, already established character get their stories told and be made a bit more mainstream. My only thing with it is that Nightstar is not a core canon character. She only exists in alternate universes. There are other universes where Starfire actually has a son, and
You mean
plenty
like
of
this
others
one?
where no children are talked about. So it's not like the character of Mandy is replacing Nightstar. Mandy is a different character completely. It is essentially a different universe within the multiverse. I have not
Yep,
seen
one
anyone
that
talk about
everybody will
this
forget.
directly, but I think it's entirely possible that DC may have hyped up a story coming out about Starfire's daughter, and people got excited thinking that it would be Nightstar, and DC let that hype build, and people were disappointed to see that it wasn't. That I would completely understand if that were the only argument I saw being made. It's not even the primary argument that I see being made, but I'm saving that one for a smidge later. I have also seen people complain that they do not like the art style, and yeah, I'm not exactly disagreeing. This white shading on Starfire's leg causes me physical pain. It's not the worst I've seen, it's also not great. The cover doesn't look super appealing on its own. Some of the panels look...
Pause. That I hate this little frame. Where is it? Yeah, come on.
Which one?
Yeah. The microphone
Where?
at the bottom right.
Oh.
What's wrong with
Are
the
you thinking what
microphone?
I'm thinking? Are you think?
It
You
is
think what I'm
a-
You're too
thinking?
innocent.
It's a guy, and he's talking to the little girl on the right, and it's
No,
zooming
I
in.
have-
Yeah, you
I
usually don't.
already-
If you
Smart,
don't
smart.
want the implication, you draw it properly. if you
Smudge,
want the
It's a
implication,
microphone.
you do the silhouette.
Smudge,
It's a
embrace
microphone.
more your Italian way and see that it is a small schlong.
Well, I would
You
say
gotta go
it's
your
closer
famous
to
side.
a ice cream cone, but I understand what's going on. It's not hard to grasp. This is just Wisp being a pervert, okay? That's all this is.
No,
It's just those.
I've seen less obvious manga. Okay.
Wait,
Is this just your superior German pervasion coming through? Is the
There are corresponding frames to put this all together. It's a puzzle.
yes, yeah. It's
We
Honestly,
of course we see the corruption of capitalism to prop up this child as a star and exploit her.
Well,
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just joking, but yeah, it is
Yeah,
a form of
hence
Hence the sexual implication in raping her sexual her capitalistic value.
Wisp. It's quite clearly a microphone.
Yeah, it is the form of a
I think I
microphone.
like the sexual innuendo better, Wisp. That's just me.
Yeah, but yeah, the artwork. Okay, but
Magical German powers that we don't have it.
yeah. But at the end of the day, the artwork's not a Gotham Party. I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't.
We've had
Again, I said
bad
before,
artwork.
the style is weird. The colors are. I like the color. Like it's interesting enough for me to look at the frames and go, "Oh, that's very bright and vibrant." I like that. But the style, not so much. I'm not sold on it. Doesn't bother me that much.
Like I said, it's not. It making me want to scoop my eyes out with rusty spoons because some of the last comic books I've seen really made me like. I wanted to end the pain that my eyes were going through so much.
Honestly,
And
as
it's
much
like,
as I respect Frank Miller creativity, I don't like his art style that much. So compare this to Frank Miller's recent artwork, that this is really better. But that's my preference.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because Frank Miller is way better writer than the girl who's writing this.
though obviously she's going through to get back to the video. She's going through the arguments. I have a feeling she's just going to go to the they just hate women argument soon, and
Oh,
I don't know how I
you can have the feeling because I certainly knew she will go to that.
yeah,
I find it odd how I haven't read the actual comics, so I just see this page, and I find the contrast odd that that on the right where she's a kid, she seems to enjoy all this stuff, and there seems to be no problem on this page. While on the left side, first off, how she squirts the hair dye is that stuff's going everywhere. That's
not how you dye. That's not a really good way to dye your hair. I should know. I've had to sit through a dyeing video with my girlfriend, so yeah, that was interesting.
She is actively deleting another redhead.
Okay.
Yeah, she did it.
All right.
Just found that funny.
yes.
Someone in the chat mentioned that.
Let's keep going.
Doesn't look super appealing on its own. Some of the panels look better in my opinion from the preview. I get all of that. It was probably designed that way because it's meant to be marketed towards a younger crowd. Doesn't mean that the style is going to appeal to everyone. But these complaints were minuscule to how much I saw them compared to the ones that I'm about to talk about. Because by far, when I asked people about it and when I went digging through videos and comments, the main reason they brought up for the backlash existing was that the main character is a bad self-insert of the author and kind of general complaints about the author. So let's explore.
Yeah, but this is important that she uses the adjective bad self-insert. Not just self-insert. She acknowledges bad self-insert.
Because there is good self-inserts.
Yeah.
Well, there's good stories that happen to have self-inserts, but you don't see it as that. You don't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Shall we?
All right. We get it.
Yeah, it's
Based
Mario.
off my earlier research, I thought maybe Mariko was a notoriously bad writer, but she has pretty good reviews for her comics, especially her previous works with DC. Haven't read her work myself, can't comment too much on that from experience. I did have some people tell me that she was an SJW type, which tells me absolutely nothing.
Right.
Okay, you've been asleep for the last 10 years, okay.
Hold on, rest. Notice the stuff that she brought up. It's all stories with already established characters, right? So
Not the
that
ones you mentioned?
not Skin and not Skim and oh fuck, I can't remember what the other one was.
Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman Run.
What?
Yeah, what the Skim? Hold on, Matthias, I don't know what you're on about. Yeah, the two main ones that she's famous for both have self-inserts of her self-inserts. So this one now that she's making, where she's able to create a new character, she's done a self-insert. That's the thing. That's the thing that I get from it, and it's quite clear. Everyone knows that it's a self-insert of her because the minute that someone saw the image of her next to was it Mandy, the I Am Not Starfire girl, it was like, yep, that's a self-insert. It's way too similar.
Blatant.
Yeah, it's so blatant. But like I say, if you just go by the other comics she's done, where there's already an established character, yeah, she's not making a self-insert character for Wonder Woman or Spider-Man because she can't. Because the main character is not something she can do. You know, she can't change Wonder Woman into looking like her. You know, that's the thing. Once you start doing a bit of actual proper research on her, you start to go, yeah, she does just create new, and I put new in quotation marks, new characters that all happen to have the exact same characteristics, personalities, traits, and looks. So, anyway.
I'm trying to remember I can't remember his name. Is JJB from Eidos Montreal, and they compared the design of Adam Jensen to this guy, and they look exactly the same. Like he pretty much just modeled his face and his build.
Well, Max Payne and Sam Lake.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a visual thing, and then the voice is purely what's his face, Elias Defexis, but the character is his own character. Like everything's unique about these creations. It was just funny to see that because you modeled your face. Yeah, it was easier. We didn't know what to do, and that was the first thing, and no one cared, so we just ran with it. You know? All right, just a designer, just a visual thing, nothing to do with anything else. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
Stephen let me read this again. Stephen Juniverse. Okay.
Oh my god. Is this just because we got
was really good. This is lame.
Is this just because we got a German on the podcast?
Yes.
Of course.
Crack out the Jew jokes, guys.
I'm going to buy some British beer next time. We'll talk about British beer. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
She wants to travel to do what the French do, surrender. Also, she makes fun of mom's accent, way of speaking. Yeah, that's the thing I wanted to bring up. So there's some racisms in there for good measure. So our character is entitled, whiny, racist, and French. How is anyone supposed to like her?
Trans French.
French.
Yeah. Oh my god, trans French. That makes it sound even worse.
Well, that's transcontinental French. She wants to go to France and become French, I guess.
So what? Is she like the Vichy French?
That's the worst thing you can do in your life.
Expatriate myself to the French. Okay.
Join the losing team.
I too enjoy long losing contests and white flag competition.
And excellent cheese and wine and bread.
That we steal from Switzerland, but no one really knows.
Yeah, I know.
I like to joke that France have the best army or Europe right now. So
it reminds me, I still have some French wine here somewhere, and I never felt like opening it. Fuck.
Just also remember the greatest French military general, Napoleon, was partially Italian.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's from Corsica, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Good times.
Anyway, back to the video.
It's one of those things that has been so overused that I would have to see specific examples to make comments about it. I tried looking on her Twitter if I could find any sort of controversy surrounding her, but I didn't really find anything of that vein. The most controversy I saw about her was one of her original comics being challenged for its LGBT characters and mature themes by parents. I can tell she definitely seems to be a left-leaning pro-LGBT and feminist.
That first one, which is about the two girls and the lesbian stuff. They have a lot of talks about how they have miscarriages and how they were glad that miscarriages happened.
Oh God!
I was reading about it and I was like, holy shit! I was just a bit like, this seems a bit strange to me. So yeah, I can see why there might have been a little bit of a controversy back then. But then again, how old the story was, I don't think it was an SJW thing. I think it was more just a hard-hitting story thing, if you know what I mean. Because it is quite an older thing before SJWism came into it, but it's very strange story.
Oh, in your country maybe. We didn't have the name for it. We didn't have the name for it in 2013.
Yeah, well, yeah. Probably. I don't know, but yeah, there might have been a little bit of a controversy behind it, but to be honest with you, yeah. Not the worst I've seen.
Anyway, here's Jake the Surgeon. I refuse to believe the offspring of perfect hips Dick Grayson and Step on Me Mommy Starfire would look like a chonker chonk. Well, first off, we don't know who's the father.
Penguin.
I've told you repeatedly, the father is fucking Beast Boy in hippo mode. That's all we have to do. It was a long, hard battle. People got drunk. That's all you need to know.
All right.
He solves all the problems.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, the book, I read the book, and it is a nothing burger. Really, it's just sad and boring.
There is no plot, honestly. I was looking for a plot. I was just skimming, and I read some few pages. I could not find a central plot.
Excellent writing.
You always say that conflict honestly drives the plot. I'm not seeing the conflict.
Well,
not even conflict.
Every page does have some capacity for a conflict, but it's not connected. It's just she goes about her day, this happens, and it's bad. And she goes about her day the next part of the day, and her friend is over, and that's good. And the next day, she finds out her friend posted a selfie of the superheroes, and she didn't tell her, and she gets angry, and then it just keeps going. It just this happens and that happens. It's just nothing is connected. It's just a day in the life, and then another day.
This sounds like an unfunny, boring Chikoma.
Well, when I
these 4-panel comics in some manga.
No, not quite. I mean, when I think of Japanese authors, I think of a lot of slice of life stories. So that's not uncommon. But to put it into a character that we're just introduced to, as if this is just the main point of the story, and you're like, I don't really like her.
Even to the slice of life things, there is something to them.
Well, those are usually books, so there's a lot more time to grow the scenario. Whereas this is just, I'm angry, I'm jealous, I'm happy. It's just random events, and you're like, okay, sure. No goal.
There's no punchline.
There's no focus. It's just she's doing stuff. She meets with her friend. She meets with her other friend. Now she goes home.
Excellent writer.
Yeah.
Just it.
Yeah, it's a day in the life of a miserable teenager, and it's like, great, I've already been through that. I don't need to read about.
Yeah, she has no skills. She's unattractive. She doesn't like people, or except for one of her friends and this other girl she's interested in, and that's about it.
And the question would be, if you write that, what does this give a teenager, a miserable teenager?
Because when a miserable teenager reads something about a miserable teenager, there's something interesting about that miserable teenager that happens. Or that grows, or whatever.
There's nothing inspiring. There's nothing interesting. It's just stuff happens. And then she gets superpowers, and you're like, oh. And she defeats her aunt. You're like, oh. And then she gets the girl, and you're like, why?
Oh.
Why is this happening? And then she meets the Teen Titans, and you're like,
oh.
This sounds like a power fantasy.
It's close. Yeah, I haven't quite read it all to come to that conclusion, but it's just stuff happens. She wins, and then she gets another new outfit and then a new haircut. You're like, okay, this is enough. So, anyway,
that's so girly. The story concludes with her getting another outfit and a haircut.
And it's a really gross looking. It's a goth outfit. It's like so dumb. I'm like, she looks so ugly.
You mean it's a bad goth outfit?
Her original was bad. This is even worse. The final one.
Yeah. I think.
I could
in the sloppy in the Hawk in the sloppy chat. I linked some core scene quality gothic styles. That's maybe
yeah.
That's what goth actually is, not this crap.
Hey, listen, I'm old enough to have been through all three eras of what actual goth emo punk chicks look like.
What, you mean the 90s?
No, when it was all merged together, like the early 2000s. I went through all those things. I know that in the next 3 or 4 years, there's going to be another phase of it. I'm expecting it. Don't worry about it. It comes around every 6 or 7 years now. But she does. This just feels like she saw this happen like 15 years ago, and then said, "Oh, that must be what all miserable teenage girls dress like," and so she's just added the gothy, punkish aesthetic onto a chubby Asian person.
Anyway, let's keep going, guys.
Here
is Jake the Surgeon one more time. Thank you for the 5. Why is Daphne from Scoobert Dubert disappointingly judging me for want to set the Chungus Choom Choom on fire forever? What the... Jake, what?
Because Daphne's a cunt.
You have the Mike Testa virus too?
Yeah, well, no. Mike Testa would just mess up words. This was like specifically messed up words, so I don't know.
Is this nature trying to fuel them?
Hold on. So to answer the question, ear cancer, go China, or whatever Mike Testa says.
What?
Yeah. It's been a while.
Anything Mike Testa says in a super chat is always a riddle.
We haven't seen Mike Testa for at least a week in the super chats. He's been only on the meme channel, and
he's obviously gone through like a hard time with money. He's obviously gone through the behind the back of his couch as much as he can to give us 8 cents.
He's having a hard time with money. Gee, I wonder why.
I just wanted to ask Smut, how are you going to pay rent if Mike Testa is not super chatting?
Oh my god, what am I going to do?
How can you not pay rent without Mike Testa's 97 Canadian cents that he just throws at you every so often?
Well, why do you think I have to buy imports from the LCBO? Because all the imports are cheap. So the craft beers are $1 more, so I can't afford those anymore.
And without that Mike Testa dollar made up of nickels and dimes.
I mean, alternatively, you could drink less beer.
Well, no,
that's not
going to happen.
No. That's like saying to like a heroin addict, you might get better if you just stop taking heroin. It's like, no, that's not happening anyway.
It won't be less beer; it'll just be less expensive beer. That's pretty much.
Yeah.
One of the few constants in the multiverse.
If you do what my alcoholic friend does, he just buys £1.99 beers. He goes, he tastes like water, but they just got just enough alcohol to satisfy me.
Really?
I'm like, okay, that's great.
If that's what you want, you need to try tip beer from a supermarket chain. it's 25 cents a can plus 25 cents recycling fee.
There are some beers I will not have, and there's a lot of watered down American and Canadian beers that are just, what's the point?
The worst, yeah.
Why would you bother?
Well, the thing is, beers are cheap in the UK if you know where to go. You'll find that most. Let me put it this way: the roughest pubs have the cheapest beer, and it's great. Only problem is they're rough. They're the ones you go into and think, "Am I going to get glass today?" Maybe, maybe not. But the beer's cheap enough, so oh well.
Good tips from us bar hoppers. Okay. Anyway, 2 more super chats. We'll get back to the video. Here's Jake the Surgeon one more time. On second thought, Dick can't be the father because the only one strong to birth Dick Grayson's child is Dick Grayson.
I have a feeling that he likes Dick Grayson.
I have a feeling, yeah.
Is that Joe crazy? I think Joe just likes Dick.
I think the number of times he's written the word Dick kind of explains the
also
this reminds me of a certain Oglaf comic.
The way he also describes a certain type of Dick is quite, yeah.
Anyway, thanks Jake for that insight into the world of Dick Grayson.
Oh, it's Jake the Surgeon, not Joe Crazy. Sorry, I've insulted both people there.
Here's Fireheart. Hey, Fireheart, haven't heard from you. Thank you for the 5. Do you know good agency to proofread my novel I am working on? Do I know a good agency? No. I know myself. I know others who do read my stuff, and I read their stuff and that sort of thing. But there's lots of people on the Discord that have some skills in that area as well. They'd be more than happy to check out your script or whatever you got. So don't you worry. Just come to the Discord.
Just
upload your script or upload your link to your doc file, and they'll be happy to give you a critique.
We live in a society.
No, but at the end of the day, the Discord can be scummy, terrible, and it's full of degenerates. But we're okay sometimes, especially when it comes to criticism.
I think everyone I've encountered on the Discord is concerned with storytelling quality. So anyone on there, I think, will be a pretty good bet for getting in a good opinion. Yeah. Anyway,
just don't go to the research area because that's just...
maybe not the anime section either, because that's sort of up in the air. But it's
That's
if only the mods on the Discord were any good. Isn't that right, Matthias?
I would say the anime area is the area that don't have any drama at all.
All right. Anyway, back to the video. 5 minutes and a half.
Not since we make clear rules.
We're throw him under the bus there.
Alrighty.
Type don't see any inherent problems with. Maybe she's more of a pop McFeminism type, but I really don't know. I must say though.
Okay, if she is one of those types, then clearly we know her audience, and it's not going to be the average comic book goer. So, anyway.
Yeah.
The things that get said about the author in this situation goes way off the deep end from here.
That's gonna be stuck in my head all night.
So this is the character, this is the author, or at least this is the picture of the author I have seen people use to make their point. And several people have said that the hair and body type of the two are identical, and therefore the character of Mandy is totally a self-insert.
Look at the facial expression.
Okay.
Hey, Eric.
All right. Let's look at
Hey,
this,
Eric.
guys. This isn't a self-insert at all. This isn't a self-insert at all. This is Starfire's daughter. Right here, this is the writer. Let's look one more
I know that
time,
music.
guys.
Where did you take that music from?
Not a self-insert at all.
Oh, wait, you serious?
There is a lot to unpack here, so the argument seems to be that since the author, who is an ethnically Asian woman, so I assume she naturally has dark hair, has black hair and bangs, and in this particular photo is wearing dark clothes, Mandy, who dyes her hair black and also has bangs, therefore must be a self-insert character.
No.
Look at the image. Okay, it's all you got to do.
Oh, my god. Oh my god! Is this going to be like mundane
really
math level
bad.
of trying to explain that Tila's not a protagonist?
It's a really bad excuse. Look, the thing with the self-insert depends on how the final character looks like. Not what.
Yeah.
It's not about her dying. It's about how she looks in the end after she dyed her hair. And
She dyed her hair bright
that's
blue.
the same. Doesn't matter whether she needs to dye her hair or the hair is natural black.
It actually happens in the beginning of the story.
Yeah, this happens. That scene happens. Was it like
You can make the argument. You can make the argument that this author makes her dye the hair black because it would be you can assume that her hair would be red as Starfire's daughter, and then she dyes her hair black in order to be closer to being a self-insert.
Yeah,
because she rejects Starfire and wants to be in the story as herself.
This is purely visual at this level.
Yeah. But here's the thing. In the two stories that I've talked about that she did with the original characters, the main characters look exactly like what Mandy looked like.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I keep trying to explain. It's like you can say, well, this is the only picture. I'm like, well, either it's a self-insert or she can only make one sort of character. And the fact that she's now that she's starting to, in certain pictures, resemble the characters that she's making, you've either got to convince me that A, it is a self-insert, or B, she's just turning into the character she's writing. And I'll tell you which one I'll believe.
Yeah, they could have done. They could have done many things for a child of an alien superhero heroine, and they decided to go with short, pudgy Asian chick
with black hair, which looks exactly like the writer, who's a short, pudgy Asian
lesbian
woman.
Right.
Lesbian, yeah. And it's like, and it's like, as I go back to Skim and all the other ones, her character, short, pudgy, Asian lesbian chick, and you're like, okay, come on. I'm like,
see, this is neither a good.
I'm trying to cut them slack.
As we said before in the beginning, this is neither a good nor a bad thing. The problem is, if this is what it is going to be, then you can assume lots of other things. Mm-hmm. Like this is all this is all the writer can write. So she must be good at it, or else she wouldn't be doing it.
Well,
that doesn't.
Wisp,
that is a jump. Wisp, that is jumping to conclusions.
Wisp. No, Wisp. It's no. It isn't. It isn't. It's like an option you can say. There's like options you can say, and it's like whichever one. If you said all the options, you find out which one probably makes the most sense. So you say maybe she isn't good at making these
She could be good at writing that exact thing.
Right. That's right.
Yes,
yeah.
But that is not. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that because she writes only this that she is good at that thing.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to have a character like this, you have to give her elements that are attractive. So if it's not her looks, it has to be a personality. And if her personality sucks,
her personality's fucking terrible.
Then that has to be an element of the plot. The problem is there is no plot, so you have nothing to hang this character off because there's no goal. She's just there as a set piece, like everything else in the comic, which is not what you do in a story. Your protagonist, your main character, whatever, they're the focus, and she has nothing to do aside from contemplate life. Where am I going? Who am I? Blah, blah. No one can...
The author knows so little about Starfire that she just didn't know what to even write.
You need...
Most likely.
You need a plot in your story. for your character to
Yeah.
go anywhere. And this is not one of those stories, unfortunately.
This is why people say this is just a self-insert for a comic made for her by her. No, it's by her for her. It is almost like
Yeah,
the only person who's meant to read this is her. No one else is meant to get any sort of enjoyment out of it.
Hawk, can you pull up the example pictures of the other two self-inserts that you made? that you mentioned?
I can only let me have a look. I'll have to probably leave the.
Well, take your time. I'm going to read the other super chat, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is Jake the Surgeon again. Thank you for the 5. Don't you insult the good name of Bender, you lady of the night. I don't know if that was her video or what's his name's video. I don't know if
Eric July.
Yeah, was that
Eric July.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. But hey, she likes to be
Yeah,
funny.
she used it. She used a Bender to make a joke.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a simple thing, and visually you can do it with comic books because of the nature of comic books, and with that comes a lot of baggage. So neither good, neither bad. We don't care until it's bad. And once it's bad, then you go, okay, this is a problem. And
you can say the story is bad because there's nothing there. Like you said, there's no plot.
Yeah.
Why?
And
keep
because of the nature of it, it's visual, therefore we tie into that, as opposed to, let's say, an author on board moment where the author is clearly speaking through a character or speaking in some narration, which is not what you should do in a story. You don't preach to people. You don't have a soapbox like John Galt does in Atlas Shrugged. It's awkward. It's just, why is this giant speech come out of one chapter of one man talking about the greatness of capitalism? You're like, oh my God, dude. There's a reason why
Stan Lee did it at the end of the comic, not in the comic itself.
Right. Letters to the editor or what have you. So,
I found the images of stuff. So the first one's Skim. I just used the front cover because that's one of the only images you can get up of it. It's very difficult to find other stuff. And the second one is from One Summer, I think it's called. Recheck it.
All right.
So you can see that it's in the Discord chat that we're on. So you can see that Skim is literally exactly the same, and then if you look at the One Summer one, it looks exactly the same as like.
Well, we can't on Skim. We can't tell much but the face, but
yeah, it's a frumpy, short-looking, dark-haired girl.
Yeah, and that's the main character. So that's as it's described in it is she's a non-slim Japanese American teenager.
Right. So again, going back to the character of Mandy, if you're going to have a child of Starfire, make it an alien. Give it some interesting elements. Do something creative, colorful, different, and there's nothing visually attractive about her. And you can't have ugly characters. That's great. I see nothing wrong with having ugly characters, but you got to work with that somehow. You can't just say she is short and fat and dyes her hair black and that's like, nothing. That's like a poster.
I would say
what was her name? Hattie in Sandman?
Which there's all kinds of characters.
The hobo woman.
Mad Hattie.
I think that was her. Like she was a recurring side character.
Mad Hattie.
She was ugly.
Yeah, she was a witch. Yeah,
Mad Hattie.
Or she said she wasn't a witch, but yeah.
And in the end, subversion. She turned out to be something, or plot twist or whatever, and she turned out to be some really really interesting character.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't the Bizarro characters also count towards this as well?
Yes, because they're so weird and strange and alien. You're like, what is that? Is he strong? Is he Superman strong? Is he? Does he have the same powers? Are they opposite? How does that work? There's something about that you want to learn. Like in this case, she was a ginger-haired color. That's cool. Why is that? Is it alien? Does she have power? Like what? But she doesn't have power, so there's nothing there. You're like, okay, is she going to develop it later? Is there a plot to do that? How does her power work? Her mom is trying to teach her that, and she gets her power from the sun, and she doesn't do that. So there's a little conflict there, but it doesn't go anywhere until we get to this scenario with the aunt. And the aunt is, I don't know why the aunt wants to kill Starfire. I was like, what the frickin' hell is going on?
She's evil.
The evil aunt.
Well, Black's always been a bitch, so.
Blackstar hates Starfire.
Yeah, that's all.
So,
Also,
because I am a really biology weirdo, because I like biology, you can assume most of her features are from the father, because girls normally take all the traits from the father, and boys take the traits from the mother. So she's ginger and white. You can assume her father is probably an Irishman.
Okay. A short,
seriously.
short, fat Irishman.
And again, back to the Bizarro world, it's like they specifically mentioned that if Bizarro world, nothing makes sense. So that gives them the leeway to do whatever the hell they want with those guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I've just found another thing that she's done. Called Cover Me, and it's a book about a teenager dealing with depression.
Right.
And the story's about a Asian Japanese teenager who is chubby.
We have four examples.
Anyway, yeah, that's the problem with this sort of scenario. This is all she does. But you could argue, if you're good at one thing and you keep doing it and people keep buying it, that's fine. And as long as you have
Do they buy it?
Well, we won't, but
Do they buy it because it's her, because she writes it, or because it happens to be on the shelf at that moment?
that's a good question.
There are people who just buy random stuff.
I don't know, could be just, let's see if this is good, or if she have a cult following. It could be both.
It is a combination, yeah. There's lots of weird Japanese authors that are just good because they've done other stuff that others people liked and they said it was good. And Goodreads says it's good. And you're like, okay, I'll check it out. You buy it, you're like, this is crap. This is garbage.
From what this all sounds like, she writes a lot about depression, but it doesn't sound like she knows anything about it.
Hold on, Wisp. I just found another one called Amiko Superstar that she wrote. And it is a bit different because it's only about a depressed teenager who's Japanese American, but she's not fat in this one. But she has got dark hair and thinks about cutting herself. Oh no! Hold on. No, she gets fatter as the thing goes along. No, it's okay.
Of course.
Yeah, well.
She's not writing about depression. She's writing about borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
100%. 100%.
Okay. Alrighty.
Because depression doesn't do this. Depression alone does not do this.
No, depression just makes you go onto Smudcast and watch about I Am Not Starfire.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's depression.
Thanks. I'm fine. I don't know about you, but I'm great.
No,
I'm great.
I mean, by Hawk's logic, we're all depressed, apparently.
Depression doesn't make you parasuicidal like this whole stupid cutting shit. That's what borderlines do.
Okay.
Well, you know.
Anyway.
Oh well. Anyway, let's keep
going. Here's JS for the donation for the $1. Thank you. Why do they all have that expression on their face like you just asked them to do something while they're on their break?
Because they're always on their break. So asking them to do anything is annoying them.
They're on their break from reality.
Okay.
These are the most entitled people you will ever find.
Well,
There's a line where she's upset because Starfire her birthday's in 2 days' time, and Starfire hasn't given her a car yet, and it's like could be a surprise. But that goes nowhere, and it's a useless line, and it's just a bit like...
Wait. Did you just say she complains that she hasn't gotten a car before her birthday?
Yes.
What?
Oh, there's a line in it where she goes, I'll be 17 in 2 days. And most 17-year-olds are getting, she has second-hand cars with massive bows on them, but I don't even know where I'd get a bow that big. And it's like... What are you moaning about?
Okay. So
course
she's not complaining that she hasn't gotten the car yet before her birthday.
She doesn't think she doesn't
Okay.
think she's going to get one. She doesn't think she's going to get one. But like the rest of the stuff, like they're going to France, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
It goes nowhere. There's no reason. It just exists because they needed to get to 500 lines or something in the comic.
This is what you do in a slice of life. Random details about desire or what you're going to do next or where you're going. That's it. And the next scene
Almost
happens.
everything in this comic season of Nothing Burger, because like Smudge said, it's just a series of events that is not even connected. There is a goal of the character doesn't have a goal unless going to France. If it was just that, okay, she will. If the story is she's collecting money to go to France,
Maybe, but at best, it's just a recurring conversation she has with other people. I want to go to France. I don't want to go to college. Ba 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 ba. You're like,
okay, so it's just something she keeps on talking about, but never does anything to accomplish
There's
it.
no goal in mind. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, the goal is going to France, but she's not putting any effort into making that a reality.
I would not even go that far. It's more of a topic of conversation. Yeah.
It's just a vapid point to bring up to justify not going to college.
We've all had the essays where we have to have 500 words or stuff like that. You just have to keep adding random shit. We've all added random shit to our essays and our stories.
No.
That word limit.
Hawk, I cannot relate to that. You can imagine why?
Yeah, well, yes, okay, fine.
I can relate because I did it. Essays
most of us
for university
have these problems.
I did put
most of us communist Eastern European nations didn't have to.
Hawk, that's why it's called a disability.
Can't
fit it into 500.
All right. Here's one more super chat. We'll get back to the video. Right. There's Spawn Camp. Thank you for the $10. Did you guys see that scientists at Google managed to make a real-life time crystal using their quantum computer? We've officially rammed the law of thermodynamics dry. Yes, I did. It was big news a few days ago.
Oh.
Very cool stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Can we make one?
I missed that.
It's a bit technical to pick up, but I think the summary is pretty easy to read. So check it out. Google time crystals. Check it out.
Can we make weapons with this crystal?
Google should not have this power.
Can we finally make lightsabers now?
No.
But the thing is when someone goes, hold on, wait. So they're calling it time crystal. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was it. Because when I think of time crystals, I think of the video games Time Splitters. They had time crystals in them. And
I think of Skyward Sword.
It's closer to a perpetual motion object that it constantly changes, but there's no use of energy. So it's just constantly moving, which means it violates some aspect of inertia or something to do with energy that's not there anymore. So it's
we
cool.
just don't know yet how to detect what's happening.
It is one of the many blocks of building a quantum computer, because we think of the theory behind a quantum computer, but we don't know the actual components. Like we know the 4 components of engineering, but we don't know the various aspects of how to build.
Wait. I thought we already have quantum computers, at least with a couple quantum bits. They can do fun stuff.
Well, they can make an array of 12 or 16 or whatever the number is, and
are we that high already? Nice.
Yeah, but it's just that's one of the many components to figure out what it can do. So apparently it'll revolutionize everything, but we don't know yet.
Oh, good luck to him.
We're getting there. Star Trek's only a few more 100 years away.
Well, I think that's just the some rogue Google AI that's hiding is just slowly working to apotheosis.
I mean, the earliest point in Star Trek lore is still well a ways away.
I think we'll end up with Dune, where we just destroy all the computers.
Gingerman, no. The earliest point in Star Trek lore is in the 1990s.
Anyway, back to the video.
Well, the obvious point is when Severin Cochran created the Warp Tribe, so... And
No,
that's
that's no, it's the Bell Riots.
Yeah, it's also you also missing out Khan in the 90s with the eugenics war. But anyway,
back to the video.
Please.
The whole that they have identical body types is just blatantly untrue.
Look at
Rico
them.
has a normal.
Look at them. Look.
That is not. No, she's overweight. Look at that.
Look at this chubby Asian person. She looks nothing like this chubby Asian person. I don't know what you're on about.
Jesus.
What the fuck? What was it when you said last stream? I might not be good at maths, but I'm not blind. So just look at it.
Not too difficult to put one and one together.
Anyway.
Wow, that is just wow.
I love I do like the boots though, because that's at least something I could latch onto and go, okay.
Ugh.
Hold on. The boots are the same.
Yeah.
So she's actually saying, look, this person doesn't even have the same dress sense while showing.
Exactly. Because the boots on her is a little more colorful, when the boots of Manny there is some details in yellow.
Those are not the same boots, but it's except that it's boots.
Similar enough.
Yeah, no, but it's the similar.
You know, most boots look very alike when they're rather plain, and these are two relatively plain boots, except that to her own she added some colorful clown shit.
Yeah, I know, but the way that she's wearing the boots, along with the style of wearing everything, is a certain way, because people wear boots differently. Because when I wear boots, my jeans usually go over the boots, not like what these people do when they tuck them in.
Yeah, it's basically both are dress leggings boots.
All right, guys. There's not much to say.
Yeah,
the eyes don't lie.
It's quite blatant.
Yeah. Okay.
Body's a pretty average build, especially for a middle-aged woman. And also, don't think that I didn't notice.
I love how the woman is explaining how your body is fat when you sit and where you stand. I love it.
And when you're middle-aged, in menopause.
When you sit, your fat sort of goes like this, so obviously she doesn't look the same. It's like, what? Excuse me.
Uh-huh. You sit your fat ass down.
It's like, okay, we get it. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Image they were using is from a lower angle, which is less flattering and does make it seem like she has more of a double chin. Conveniently also showing her face. But if you look at
she has a fat face.
That is clearly not a great representation of what she looks like. Meanwhile, Mandy's clearly bigger and shorter. This woman is not fat. And if you genuinely think she's that, that's you probably you have very.
You definitely showed us pictures from different ages, because in the previous picture she had really thin arms. Here she has fat arms.
I'm sorry, but no picture there looked good. Oh my god, I shouldn't be laughing at this one.
Anyway,
and then the question is, I've because I've had the unfortunate pleasure to have met a couple borderline girls, and they go through. Some of them go through phases. Like they have their super fat teenage phase. Then they have a bulimic phase where they're like twigs, and then they have a fat phase again when the eating disorder comes through again in another way. When they stop being bulimic, when they stop barfing, and they just keep all the stuff they gobble up in, and then they're fat again. So
how nice!
It's
then the cycle begins
just because the borderline girl is thin right now doesn't mean she was always thin, or that she will remain that way.
Okay.
Nice to know. Anyway, back onto how this chubby Asian isn't chubby.
Skewed perspectives of what is fat and what is not. So are we really going to try and argue that because the author has the same hair color as the character, and that they have two different style of bangs, but they do both have bangs, I suppose?
Okay, just to be fair, in the comic, she changes her hair multiple times, like 5 or 6.
This is
so
it's just a base template, and we can argue it is similar enough. It does not
Also-
need to be a 100% accurate carbon copy.
Also, don't forget the other instances that she made a chubby Japanese girl with black hair.
Yeah, it is not difficult. It took me 5 minutes on Google to look up all the stuff that she's done. They're the same characters and the same stuff.
it is kind of funny because usually we say to new writers, write what you know, but not to literally write yourself and describe yourself. Like, it's kind of like you can write other things, right? You could talk
That's
about
a good
other
way
things,
to-
not literally in the mirror. Like, you don't look in the mirror and start typing. Like, you don't do that.
Incorporate the wisdom you do, not just what happened.
But the best advice you can do is don't write yourself, write the opposite of you.
Yeah.
Well, for that you would need empathy.
Or an
I
idea
mean,
of
it's
logic.
if I had to write like
Yeah.
opposite me, I'd have to make myself ugly, uncharismatic, and unintelligent.
Oh.
Mm.
The opposite walk is French.
What?
The opposite of me is French. Okay, I'm all right with that.
That makes no
What would be
sense.
the opposite of me?
What the hell was
Anyway, moving on with the video.
Let us go forward.
That makes a self-insert. Are authors not allowed to write characters with any physical similarities to them? Never mind all of the differences between the
Right.
two. Mandy has green eyes and a septum piercing and shaved eyebrows. Mariko has
Normal eyebrows?
Wow.
Real?
I wouldn't call it. No, those are drawn in. Those eyebrows are drawn in and they're fat just as the characters.
Oh, you know something? I've heard a lot of bullshit in my life. I really have. But this is taking the cake.
On her left hand, she has a ring. Clearly, on the other character's hand, she doesn't wear any rings.
Look, this character's 5'2", while the author is 5'1". Clearly, it's a completely different character.
Self-inserts can have magical properties that the actual person doesn't have, which includes better looks or more interesting exotic looks. That is not a reason to dismiss the whole thing. Which is what I said. Just because she's not a 100% carbon does not mean she's not a self-insert.
The Mary Sue trope, because there's some people who conflate a Mary Sue with the perfect Sue, even though Mary Sues can have some flaws and they can do mistakes, but the flaws and the mistakes are not relevant at all.
Yeah, the issue is not that she looks the same. It's that because she looks the same, there's a good chance that it's going to be a shit character. And that's the problem we have with the comic. And just from glancing over it, I was like, this is not a very compelling character to learn about. And I wanted something more about her as a character as opposed to being angry and jealous.
Yeah. And to be honest with you,
Mandy's personality is not really cool at all. She's the opposite.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Looking at the stuff that she's done in the past, she's done this story over and over and over again. And it's always been boring. The stories are boring. It's always a depressed, slightly chubby, dark-haired Japanese-American girl dealing with, growing up. And it's, all the same.
They're all are lesbians.
Well, this one, they may or may not be lesbians, but
the thing
it's
is,
hard to find out.
Those qualities are fine. That's not a problem by themselves. It's, do they work with a story? Do they work with the other characters? Is the conflict surrounding that particular element of the character? There's all these things to consider. So looking at these mechanical components like visuals, it's not a big deal. You're right. But there's a good chance if they visually look like the main character or the author, they're going to think like the author. They're going to act like the author. They're going to do things that the author is inserting other things into the story, which is not what is considered good storytelling.
I just want to correct a commenter in the chat. Milkman Milkman Comic said Rule 34 has been defeated. I say no. Oh, someone somewhere is making a horrible art of this character.
Yeah.
There is always
Rule
don't
34 does not mean it will be sexy.
search. Don't
It
search
just means someone will loot it. And if you, I do not recommend this, but if you really want to be sure that this is the case about absolutely everything, just do a 5-minute dig into any furry image board, and then I don't know, use bleach or something for your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Or just shoot yourself.
All right. Thanks again for that wonderful story. Okay, let's go.
No
None
problem.
of that. She often likes to keep teal in her hair. She also isn't goth. I don't think Mandy is Asian.
No, she just wears
That's
black
not
all the
teal,
time.
that's green.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. She just wears black all the time. Yeah, it's just. This is. Let's keep going on because this is she's her argument is these people look nothing alike, but also they do look alike. Here's images that they look alike, but they look completely different because someone's got shaved eyebrows.
Yeah, she wears black, but she's not this subcategory of wearing black. It's like thanks. That doesn't.
And that is green, not teal.
Like
Yeah,
again,
I know.
you don't need to be 100%.
It's really annoying when I know more about the spectrum of colors than a woman, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, we're good. Let's go.
At most would be half Asian, though she does naturally have ginger hair and green eyes, so I would be doubtful of that. And contrary to what I saw an alarming number of people saying, they don't have the same body type. At all. I genuinely do not get this argument, and it seems to be the one fueling a lot
Then
of the
you are legally
backlash towards
blind.
this comic, with people seemingly building off this claim, saying that the author is
Couldn't you have
projecting her
found-
own mommy issues into the comic, and
Couldn't you have found an image of her standing so we could have made a more clear argument?
Yeah, she showed that picture of when she was young, when she looked like she was fucking chubby. The word chubby doesn't mean fucking obese.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we have to explain this. The word chubby means not thin.
Yeah.
Also, the author have the other instances that she does a Japanese American with
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
Oh, and
she's been doing the same story. Bear in mind that was it Cover Me or whatever it was that I found. That first one, there was another one. That's from the year 2000. So she's been doing this for 21 years now.
Well, in school, I wrote the same freeform story when we were supposed to do that every time since 3rd grade because I had a different teacher every time, and I didn't bother with doing a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got a B every time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So why change a running system? However, this is not school for getting grades. This is she's in an actual creative job, and it doesn't sound like she's holding herself to a high standard, if you ask me. Because had I held myself to a higher standard in school, I had written better stories for myself instead of just doing the same shit all over again. And since she mentions mommy issues, so I haven't heard any arguments about this in the reviews I've skimmed. Just one thing of note here: if there's a borderline thing going on here, borderline has a genetic component. It is hereditary to a degree, and that usually it also has to be triggered by lots of mental stress, which when you have a borderline mother, there's usually enough mental stress to trigger the borderline manifesting in the daughter if it is passed on.
I thought you were going to say donuts.
If she has mommy issues, she's probably had a borderline mother herself.
I don't know if she have money issues.
No, I'm just saying I haven't seen that in any of the reviews I've seen. She's bringing that up now that those are apparently criticisms. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying if this is, since a lot already looks like and sounds like borderline, if that is a thing, she's a had a borderline mother. That's all.
All right.
I just love the fact that Smudge that she goes, I'm sorry, I just forgot to say donuts. It's like, yeah, okay.
Where donuts? I'm
Don't worry about
hungry
it.
now.
Anyway,
Don't worry about it.
it's donation time. Hey, the Dark Mother. Oh my God.
Oh.
So, if I have a character who acts like me and looks mostly like me, but the difference is that the character has a fat cock, does that mean it's not a self-insert?
It's also not a power fantasy.
That could be a power fantasy, I guess.
No, it can't be. If it was a power fantasy, then it would be a self-insert.
Self-insert
Any
being the key word there, yeah.
Yeah, any character that's got a fat cock is definitely trying to do some inserting somewhere.
It's enough. If the character has different eyebrows than you, then it's not a self-insert.
Yeah, that is an actual argument that she had shaved eyebrows, and I'm like,
Okay. 9 minutes in. We're almost halfway done. Fantastic.
yeah.
I would see evidence of this that isn't the they look identical argument, because I don't think that argument holds any water.
All right, so if you're going to write a character who's young adult, kid, whatever, and it's a self-insert, they're probably going to have some family problems. And the simplest thing is issues with the parents, because that's where all fights begin, at the home. So, yeah, we call those daddy issues, mommy issues, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty typical. Not a big stretch of the imagination that if you're going to put one step in, you could pick 2 steps in, and it keeps going. Ideas, ideology, dialogue style, keep going. Fight that they had when they were kids. All kinds of life choices. Write what you know. And if you don't know anything, look in the mirror. And you're a vapid cesspool of rot, that's what you get.
That's why I don't like it.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Oh my God, that was brutal.
That was really brutal.
You know, if I remember when I was doing creative writing and some guy described, like a tall lanky dude described a tall lanky dude in a story, we'd be like, excuse me, why is this guy tall and lanky for no reason? It has nothing to do with anything. Like, I was thinking of myself in that scenario. It's like, yes, we know. Why? And can you change it, please? Because it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So.
It's a bit like, so why is this character short, chubby, and Asian? Well, I was thinking of myself. Yeah, but it's not a self-insert. I was just thinking of myself because thinking of yourself is not self-inserting.
It is such a childish, like, people who don't know how to write, they write for the first time and they do that. It's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't do that because lots of reasons, and we are going to laugh at you, and we don't want to laugh at you. We want you to be better at writing, and you don't put yourself into your fiction. That's silly. It's childish.
I will admit that I put myself into one of the stories that I'm writing, but literally as someone who dies a horrible, horrible death. So that might be more of a problem for me.
The thing is, we want our audience to easily jump into the shoes of all the characters we create.
Exactly.
We don't want just us to go on this masturbatory experience that no one else can relate to.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, my only insert person is literally victim like number 1, or I think it was either victim number 1 or number 2. I'm like the red shirt, so it doesn't matter.
I remember there was a children's parable. I can't remember, a mouse and his mother mouse, and the mother mouse kept making split pea soup, and the little mouse hated it.
Yes.
And the mother mouse says, I don't even like it myself. I just like making it. And that's the problem with this scenario. She might have enjoyed, I don't know, using this as a psychological expression of her personality or whatever, her past. But if no one enjoys it,
Fucking point.
It's
Yeah.
it's so niche. Like this is so niche for someone to want to pick up and read.
Personal fetish.
I don't know if it's a fetish. I just think it's a personal history.
She does the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, but that's more like I'm a craftsman and I just do this one thing.
Yeah, that's an obsession with. It's not a good.
I think
It's not a good
she
one. It's not a good obsession.
Well,
Worrying about these past instances, I think the writer needs to have a change in characters that she writes.
I agree. I think every writer should challenge themselves, but I don't know. She's been doing that for the past 20 years if she can't change her protagonist.
Instead of making Japanese American chubby girl, make a, I don't know,
Anything.
Canadian boy that likes.
Instead of a chubby Japanese American girl, get a slightly overweight American Japanese girl. Really change the dynamics.
You know what? Even with that premise, and she's been doing it so long, you could still make it work. It's not.
Yeah.
Instead of making her depressing, makes her cheerful, and she likes go to the gym. She's helpful.
Yeah. All you need is give her a reason to exist. Give her a reason why she's dyeing her hair. She can't just be angry at her mom the entire time. That's stupid.
Yeah. Because let's put it this way, we know people like that in the real world, and we laugh at them who are just angry at their parents for no reason, and we're just like, grow up.
This
There's
is something
real problems
you
in the
expect from a young adult comic, but you also expect the young adult to grow in the story. That's kind of the point of young adults. They're getting out of high school. They're getting out of childhood.
We all have those. We're all a rebellious teenager. We've all been through it.
Right.
Also, it sucks to be a rebellious teenager. You are a rebel without a cause, doing shit for no reason.
Yeah. But most of the time, most of the time, you look back at it and go, "Oh God, I wish I hadn't done that." Yeah, it's like, wow, I was a bit of an idiot back then. No one really looks at the rebellious teenage years and go, "You know what? I am proud of every single thing I did during those years. I have no regrets."
Yeah, Red Foreman in That Seventh Show made an awesome comment that said, "Why do you want to be friends with teenagers?"
Yeah. It's not. The thing is, we're not friends with teenagers, but when you get old enough, you may have a teenager in your life as your child. You'll have to deal with it. It's like, yeah, don't worry. We've all been through that.
Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Right. I don't know how far we're going to go. The rest of the video, I don't think I watched the rest of it, like just to maybe 2 more minutes, but there's not much going, so anyway.
Yeah.
I want to get to the part she talks about the plot, because I think that's the best part.
All right.
You know what makes infinitely more sense as to why Mandy looks the way she does? The whole point of her character is that she isn't her mother. She doesn't want to be. Like, in the description of the comic, it says that Starfire is the gorgeous, bright, bubbly, tall one. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the point. And Mandy is not. So they designed Mandy to be the visual opposite of Starfire. What is the opposite of preppy and bright? Goth and dark. Skinny versus chubby, tall versus short. I would be willing to bet my right kidney that that's why the design choices for Mandy were made, not because of this weird theory that the author's trying to self-
Hold on, press pause.
Maybe.
This is not chubby, this is obese.
All I want to say is this. You've just lost a kidney. So, yep.
Can you explain that?
She went. I bet my right kidney that the reason for this is because it just wants to be opposite. I'm like, you've just lost a kidney.
Sorry,
the kidney, madam.
Yeah. That's the justification would work if her whole premise would hold up, which doesn't hold up. That this isn't a self-insert, and. No, she's not designed as the opposite to Starfire. It's if anything, this design is a product of jealousy and envy, and because the author can't be like Starfire, she writes something that completely rejects Starfire.
Yeah, if
I can't have it, no one shall.
Yeah, but I like the idea of it to be the opposite of Starfire. You've got to be an unattractive hobgoblin.
Well, the funny
And it's
thing,
like,
the funny thing is, in
With
the
horrible
comic,
personality. And look, the thing is, happy and bubbly is not necessarily the opposite of goth. Goth does not automatically mean that you're always sour
miserable
and depressed and miserable. Then you don't. And I'm sorry, you do not know the actual goth scene, because those are very, very friendly and intelligent people.
This is people getting. This is people mixing up goth with emos.
Exactly. Thank you.
And
Thank you. This character is an emo character.
Yeah,
exactly. Goths do not cut themselves. Emos do.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the only not the only thing, but I do like the idea in the comic that she was growing up and she was so proud of her mom. She loved her mom, yada yada, and she was always excited and she learned what her mom did and that sort of stuff. It's not drowned out, but it's there. You're like, okay, she must have had a good childhood then. And then she realized she can't be her mom, and then she just becomes angry. And you're like, okay, that makes some sense.
Oh,
it's
an envy thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's a combination of jealousy and anger and hatred and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the way that gets resolved is she just gets superpowers because her aunt wants to kill her, so she just can do it. And you're like, why? How?
Right.
So,
because I was really expecting it'd be something like a Kevin the Teenager sort of thing, where she just turned 13 and became just like an annoying bastard.
Well, usually in the X-Men comics, the teenager does cause the change in your powers, or to even get powers. So
yeah,
they give you an impetus for why things are happening. In this, it's just stress. I have no idea.
Well, it can't be stress because she's an average teenager and they go through tons of stress all the time. And you're like,
she is below average. I think her marks aren't great. She doesn't study very well. She's not smart.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
She's an average teenager to a chubby middle-aged Japanese American woman with dark hair who writes inserts of herself.
Get back to the video. This might be a minor nitpick from me, but Starfire actually acts like a teenager, even though she is a month.
Alien warrior woman. Yeah, I know.
There is months that actually like teenagers. There is a real thing, but I don't think Starfire would be that way because she's really well developed in the comics. So that's just a minor nitpick for me.
All right. Here is White and Nerdy. Thank you. I am Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway's dumpy sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's JS. Starfire, when she sees this, I have no daughter. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah.
All right.
Assert herself. I also really don't think that people would be nearly as mad if the character were skinny, just throwing it out there. I even found redesigns where...
All right, so one on the right looks even more retarded. That's not cool. The one on the left, I'd be like, hey.
That seems like someone who is saying, I am not Starfire because she looks similar to Starfire. People mistake her for Starfire and she wants to make her own identity.
I would imagine the children from...
Still an ugly dress.
The kids from superheroes, which are rather genetically superior to the rest of other people around, would have some rather dominant traits like looking good, looking fit. And they would develop those traits also in their children. So I would be like, hey, that makes some sense. Even if she was smaller and not as buff, she wouldn't be obese. Like that would be why. How would a superhero teach their kids to overeat? Like that's weird.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm gonna say right now was gonna hurt a lot of fat people. But there's no way that anyone's thinking that fat hobgoblin Mandy is Starfire. We know that's not Starfire just by looking at you. Whereas with the one on the left here, it looks like someone who could be mistaken for Starfire, and like I said, it makes the story a bit more, maybe she is just trying to do it because she's going like, no, stop thinking I'm my mum, I'm my own person, I will make myself my own person. Whereas that one, it's just, I'm fat, ugly, and alone and depressed because I'm a fat, ugly, alone, and depressed.
I want to go to France because don't want to.
Because I want to go to France because I assume lots of fat people go there and I can be with my fatty friends.
That would be an excellent form of guilt because as she's growing up, she's like, I'm going to be like my mom. I'm going to be like my mom. But she doesn't have the abilities as her mom. And everyone's like, so are you going to join the superhero business? Like, and she's so like frozen because she hates responding to that question. And she has to keep saying, I am not my mom. I can't do what she can do, even though I look like her. Or I'm a younger version of her, and I can't do it. When my mom was 8, she could do all these things, but I can't. I'm 13 now. Well, whatever. So all these wonderful problems a child growing up with, trying to aspire to their parents, and she just has this huge cloud over her as a result. That's great. That would work. Instead, she's just a frumpy little whatever who has no ambition, doesn't want to go to college, has no proper dream, and she just crushes on some girl that she gets jealous over because she came by and took photos of a bunch of superheroes.
Yeah.
It's just poorly set up stuff, and you could work with this so easily, and have her make her look not like on the right she looks retarded. I'm sorry, that looks dumb, but on the left maybe not make her as cute and as bold and the Disney heroine look. Don't do that as much. Just water it down a bit. Yeah, you'll be fine.
But it's one of those things where if she hadn't got her hair dyed, she could look like her mum.
Yes.
That would really drive home that I am not Starfire, because there's a thing where it's like if you look like a parent.
I read some pages of the comic, and most of the pages are her in the school. None of the students pass her say, "Oh, you look like your mother." No, they keep bullying her because what bullying? Keeping asking her, "Oh, can you say hi to your mom? Can you say hello to your mom? Can you get a signed photo of your mom to me?"
Yeah.
Nobody confuses her with Starfire. Everyone just keep asking to, "Hey, can you say something to your mom?"
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
where pretty much exactly the same, but Mandy is drawn more conventionally attractive. Can't say I'm really shocked. Never mind all the fat jokes that I've seen made against her. The only other similarity between Mariko and Mandy that I could find is that they are both lesbian, and I had to dig a little bit to even find out that Mariko was a lesbian.
That's a pretty obvious giveaway on top of everything else.
Hold on. So your argument is, yes, they look slightly different, but they also both have the exact same sexuality. I'm sorry, but this is you cannot be this naive.
Also, all the other instances that she made,
you cannot say, well, 99% of things look exactly the same, but there's like 1% that doesn't. So obviously it means it's not. It's like, no. I'm really shocked that this person didn't go, well, also, Mandy is a schoolgirl and the writer isn't a schoolgirl, so it's obviously not a self-insert. It's like, that's not how these things work.
Also, all the other instances that she made a Japanese-American chubby girl that happens to be lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
So with Mandy of not Starfire, that makes 5, and I think that she have more of those instances.
Yeah. You can't be serious with this, saying.
Because honestly,
all these things plus us being lesbian. You're like, come on, this list is getting a lot longer, and you just you don't realize. Go on, Smudge, what you
Outside of the hair and the eyes, there's really nothing that she takes after from her mother. So I was hoping for some alien elements, but she has no powers till the end.
Like the eyebrows? Because those are not shaved. Those are the eyebrows of her alien mother.
I don't know.
They have these weird. They have these dot things.
Well, eyebrows in many comics freak me out because they either don't exist.
Eyebrows in general just freak me out.
Yeah,
Just-
in manga, they're all
Just
over the place.
burn them off.
No. It's not
Just
an
take
episode
some
of Parks and
crayon.
Rec. No, it's not.
Tomorrow, Hawk will get the heavy
Evan.
flamer, walk through his town, and just flame off all the eyebrows of everyone.
Yeah. And then just
And there will
draw
also
on
be
with,
no
like,
more
crayon.
COVID because it can't settle on people's eyebrows anymore.
Yes.
I was just remembering that episode of Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson
Yeah.
burns off his eyebrows.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I think the actor actually had to do that because he looks ridiculous. It's just like, okay.
Mhm.
Best character.
Parks.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Which,
yes.
am I supposed to be shocked that DC hired a lesbian writer to write a lesbian character? Because I'm really
No,
not.
we're not
what?
shocked.
Okay, wait a
No,
second.
no.
Would a producer go to like,
You are
hey, you know what?
assuming-
I have an idea for a character. I want them to be
Mm-hmm.
lesbian. Let's go hire a lesbian author. Like, no,
That is not what happened.
that's not what
I
happens in
hired this
storytelling.
woman, and she made up a self-insert character that is as lesbian as she is.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this is so blatant. Either this person's got an IQ the same temperature as like the Arctic,
Yeah.
Oh,
or she's
Luckily-
being deliberately disingenuous.
I think she didn't notice when she went from objective analysis to a blatant emotional apologia
I'm so
and
glad
coping.
I don't want to get this person's attention because I'm not replying to anything. I'm not leaving a comment. This is too dumb, even for me.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you just have to go. Are you trying to be retarded here?
Yeah.
Because you can't say all these things and then say no. It's not this.
Oh.
It's like,
By the way,
but it is.
She makes headcanon about reality.
what's the ratio? Because I can't see it on the video.
Well, what's the ratio for which video?
The video we're watching.
This
I
video?
can't even tell.
I don't know. It's not on Watch Together.
All right, we'll ask chat about that. If you guys just want to link to the actual video, and because I can't see dislikes because I'm logged in, but just tell me the numbers. Anyway, let's go.
Why are you?
Anyone-
Well, because this is so dumb. Like everyone in the comments should be like, "This is stupid." Like, what are you talking about? Come on.
Yeah. I agree.
Can write a character in theory, but if you have a successful author in your pocket who can likely give some more personal insight to the experience of a character due to them sharing that part of their life, I fail to see an issue with that. Which also leads me into another thing.
Right. Again, another thing. She's literally saying that the author just happened to have all the personality and traits of this character. Just DC were lucky enough to find the one person who happened to match this character
Yeah.
100%. It's like that's not how this person create. We can keep going because we're going over the same things. This is just silly.
Yeah, that's not how the creative
Sorry.
process works. So
Works? No. Take off your hat, get out your fucking coat, go into the world, touch grass, and learn how fucking things are made.
To another thing, several comments that said that Mandy's only personality trait was her sexuality, ergo that is just stupid pandering, which I mean, sure, you can think that if you completely ignore the entire part of the description that says Mandy's personality is much more fueled by growing up in the shadow of her mother and how she wants to break out of that and be her own person, but nah, man, this one line where it says
she doesn't want to be her own person. She wants to
Own
escape
person.
it. She wants to get away from everyone. She wants to go to France or whatever.
Yeah, she's got no personality. She goes, I just want to go to France and do what French people do. But, oh, wonderful fucking personality. Oh, I'm depressed. Yeah, such a... being depressed is a personality now, is it? Wonderful, great.
She's
That's
not very
a
smart.
personality.
She doesn't try. She doesn't get into conflict unless it personally affects her. Like she's hungry. She invites her co-student friend to do that she likes to do the project at her house. That causes more conflict.
God, she quit doing her exams.
Yeah, her SAT she skipped.
She skipped them. Wow. If this was a real person and I got to talk to them, I'd come a fucking retard, and they deserve the shit to be. They deserve to be unhappy. You're literally going out of your way to be unhappy.
Even at the end, when she's with the Teen Titans or whatever, and Raven's there, and she's like, "Why aren't you doing your work?" And then she realizes, "Oh, I guess I should do that." And she gets back to work, whatever test she's doing. But it seems like she doesn't really care. Like she still does not. She hasn't learned anything. She's just being forced to do stuff because now she's a superhero.
Well, let's put it this way. Like I said, but Mandy has other plans. And the only big plan that they mention is going to France, which is Smud and Matthias says it gets dropped really quickly. So what else? What other plans she's got? Oh, mope around. Okay, is that moping around isn't a personality?
All right, just got in the chat from Mark and Joe, 369 likes and 2,000 dislikes. Okay.
Good.
That makes a lot more sense because I was like, this is so dumb. Why are we?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But wow, I mean, it's like also here's the thing. But everything changes when she gets partnered with Claire for a school project. If she's walked out of exams, what the school would not be like just allowing her to do school projects.
Well,
they'd be like going.
Yeah, that's before, and that's when she gets angry. So that's why she goes to class and she just skips out on doing the exam. So that's the reason why. Because she took the selfie with all the superheroes, and that's why she thinks Claire was happy, and she didn't tell her. Because she thought she had a good time. The thing is, this is the girl she gets at the end, which doesn't make any sense. And I'm just like, okay, this is getting weird.
She got everything at the end of the comic.
Yeah, she saves the day. She gets the girl. You're like, okay, this is not really special. I don't care.
Oh, the book doesn't have focus, doesn't have a coherent plot. She simply gives the character everything she wants.
I don't know. It's not. I just skimmed through it. I would have to reread it in detail, but I was only attracted to the color. Honestly, I was like the cat with the jingling keys. I mean, that's like pretty artwork. Yeah, okay, that's it. Everything else is kind of lame. All right, Ted Lemon, thank you for the 5. I'm middle-aged, have a metal arm and laser eyes. Ooh, cool. Marvel just called me to write Cable. Total coincidence.
Yes.
And you're the strongest telekinetic on the planet, and you time travel.
And from the future, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's the thing. You cannot say that DC hired somebody who just happened to be completely like this character. Bear in mind that this person also created that character.
Now, you could argue that there's some producer. Oh, we need a lesbian, ugly, goth, fat chick. Do you know any lesbian, goth, ugly, fat chick writers? It's like, yeah, we do actually. Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I do. I've got her on speed dial since she's been doing it for 20 years.
Like 0.001% of that happening.
Yeah, we have a huge demographic of ugly, fat, goth chicks who are lesbian. It's amazing. How'd you?
Do you know any authors who are chubby Japanese American depressed chicks
who love comic books?
Who write comic books? Yes, I do. she's on speed dial under 1. It's just straight away.
Imagine you being one of the CEOs of DC saying that.
All right. Anyway, we should probably be done in another minute or two. This is getting silly.
Yeah.
Mandy searching on Claire means the only stat Mandy has is lesbian, because that's how pandering works, kids.
Yes, that is how pandering works.
Let's be honest. Pandering's not bad.
That is literally.
pandering is not bad if that's the point of the plot or point of the story or the media. So yeah, if you want to make an action adventure story, then you make an action adventure story. You put all the cool stuff you can.
Yeah.
Cool.
But when you when you do that sort of pandering, which people complain about, that's basically it. Just
pandering.
Make
The idea of pandering
make them
itself.
lesbian.
Yeah, the idea, the very concept of pandering on its own is not bad because look at the Arkham games. They pandered to hell and back to the animated series fans, and that was good.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is that the pandering we're talking about is it's like make them lesbian. Okay, so her only thing is being lesbian. Oh, I'm being miserable. Yeah, that's pandering.
All right.
The plot is bad. Actually, the plot is not even
The
there.
next big arguments I saw were people complaining that the plot was bad. That also confused me as to how people know the plot, given the novel hasn't been released yet.
It was in the summary.
It was in the summary. There was a summary of it you've been using to try and tell people how this person's got a person. Are you listening to any words that you are saying?
It is possible she doesn't know that you can do a plot analysis of a summary and understand it, how it's going to turn out. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like, how do you know about the plot? Well, we've read the summary with stuff.
Well,
yeah, but how do you get information from that? The same way that you're making information from it.
This all depends on their definition of what plot is, because they could think plot is story, and because the story is not out yet, they don't know. But we know better because we've said plot so many bloody times on this show. So I wrote a goddamn book about it. So it's kind of like, okay, we know what the plot is. This person probably doesn't know too much about creative writing. Thinks plot is story, because that's a common misconception.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that it did put out some previews, but the main preview was several image panels that aren't even in chronological order or have any text, so not something a lot of plot can be drawn out of. Though there have been a couple of small page previews with dialogue where we see Mandy reacting harshly to her mother. I will speak on that in a minute. But more generally, what I think most people mean is that they have an issue with the basic premise and what bits of information we've gotten so far. One big complaint I saw is that they think it's incredibly unrealistic that the child of a superhero like Starfire wouldn't have any powers. Genetics are already weird enough in the real world, let alone in fantasy writing. But even then, the concept of a non-powered kid born to a powerful parent isn't new at all. In the 2004 cinematic masterpiece, Sky High, I'm kidding, Sky High came out in 2005, but in the lore of Sky High, that's a sentence I never thought I would say.
Sky High,
you can have superheroes have kids.
It's like what does the
lore of Sky High fucking DC universe?
Look, in Sky High, the main character gets all the powers, the strength of his father and the flying power of his mother. They just showing up.
Seriously, what does in Sky High? It's shown that the superhero couples don't make superhero babies. That's fucking great for Sky High.
The opposite. They do make superpowered babies, even if one of them isn't powered.
Yeah, okay, but regardless, the point she's trying to make is in this thing that's not connected to DC. These are the rules of the universe. That doesn't matter at all. So
it doesn't matter because Kai does the exact opposite of what she's defending.
But that's not the point. The point is she's gone to a different franchise to say these are the rules of this franchise, so it should work in a decent. No,
yeah, definitely.
It's like comparing Terry Brooks's magic to Tolkien's magic.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's like, that's fine, but those are completely different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I'm saying, so this whole point is this is pointless. There's no reason to be talking about Sky High.
Yeah, it's like comparing Mario's Fireball to Scorpion's Fireball. There's no connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Vario's Dragon Head.
Yeah.
They use basic genetics. They use basic genetics. If someone have superpowers and the other have superpowers, it's more than likely that the kid will have superpowers.
Well, it's kind of funny because
here's the thing.
Well, wait a second.
Starfire's superpowers is being an alien as well.
Well, wait a second, because in the comic, she just gets powers. Like, she just gets angry because she thinks her mom is dead or whatever, and she's going to try and kill her aunt. She actually says, I'm going to kill you. And she just gets powers. And you're like, was this explained? Was there some activation? Was there some coming of age? Like, nothing. She just gets powers. You're like, oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how it happens in Sky High as well, but again, different universe, no connection.
Yeah. So but what I'm saying is that people go like with Starfire is Starfire's an alien, so a lot of her stuff is because it's an alien. If you have alien DNA, which she will have at least 50% of, you're going to get something somewhere.
Yep.
Regardless of whether her dad was Greg the Dustbin Man or whatever, it doesn't matter. She's still going to have alien DNA in her that makes her not human, that will give her something beyond what humans have. So this isn't just two humans who had superpowers getting it on. This is an alien getting it on with a human or getting it on with whoever. So we don't even know who it might be.
Especially if it's Dick Grayson.
Also, and if it's Dick Grayson, right, he's a superhero, right? But he's still just a human. So
exactly, he is still human. So the same rule applies there.
I think I like the penguin analogy better. That was.
Yeah,
well, penguin's case is just genetic mutation, not exactly what is discussed here.
Oh yeah, but it totally makes sense why she turned out the way she did.
Even if the penguin is a genetically modified monster, the modified DNA would pass to the daughter.
Yes.
I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying it's like it's more overt. In certain stories, it's more overt if it's like half alien rather than half mutant.
Yeah, but then again, it's still different stories. But here's the thing: you have to just go by the fact that Starfire is 100% alien. Yes. She's had sex or done whatever wiggly with.
100% human. Let's go 100% human.
For the sake of simplicity, let's say she actually did get it on with Dick Grayson.
Or any human. Let's just regardless any human. So the child will be 50-50.
Yes, regardless, no matter.
But regardless, let's not start going into fucking talks about Dick Grayson's abilities and everything. I really don't care. But regardless who it is, it's going to be 50% alien. So you're going to have something with aliens. So this whole argument is bullshit. Just now bring up Sky High is bullshit. This video is bullshit. So let's just continue.
The Smudcast is bullshit.
Yay!
Without powers. Yeah. You also have squibs in Harry Potter, non-benders in Avatar The Last Airbender, born
different
to bender parents.
universes.
The literal Avatar has a non-bender kid.
What are you talking about?
Let's just go. Don't worry.
Let's just go. Don't worry. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Let's just go.
I'm going to say plain and simple. All I'm going to say plain and simple. Yes, the logic works, but the fact that it's different universes still doesn't matter.
The logic doesn't even work though, but whatever.
Avatar bending is random. It's not hereditary.
Yeah. Now let's move on,
Pretty much any media where powers are a thing, you have the possibility presented that their children can be born powerless, especially if one parent isn't powerful, which we can assume of Mandy's father. I don't see it as a stretch at all to have a superhero have a non-powerful kid. And that seems to be the story that DC and the author wants to explore. How does one grow up with one of the most powerful superheroes as a parent without powers of their own? How do you even begin to live up to that? It's not a traditional superhero story.
You could easily make one. But this is just a sulking story.
In the comic, she says that her mother, because she's Samara, she gets the power from the sun because she can absorb the light of the sun and can shoot things with her hands. Mandy is 50% tomorrow. She could have this power too, naturally. Who would be powerful?
How the hell so what, Kryptonian, what? How does that fit in?
No,
What?
Tamarian, not
Amaranian. No, I know it's but when the hell did they have that same quirk as the Kryptonians? What the hell?
Yeah, no, but here's the thing.
No,
It's the reason why Superman has superpowers is because he's got superpowers because he's an alien. So any children that he'll have with Lois or whoever he fucks, doesn't really matter, will have part of his DNA. So that's the thing. We're not talking about someone who got their powers accidentally due to, I don't know, something happening. It's alien physiology.
Xenobiology.
Yeah, it's like no matter right. No matter what, that part of the genetic aspect of her biology, that's going to manifest no matter what. It has to.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just keep going. We're going over the same points. It's just
All right.
Story that I think every story told in a genre has to be, especially for a separate young adult novel. It's a bit of a different perspective on the superhero universe. It's fine if the premise doesn't interest you, but I don't see how the premise in and of itself is bad. I even saw some people discussing how superhero novels were about escapism, and therefore following a powerless person was bad because it ruined immersion, and what? I am tempted to throw the whole suitcase out, but one, a character does not have to be superpowered for a piece of media to be escapism. Two, this seems to be ignoring the entire aspect of Starfire's evil sister, Mandy's aunt, coming to fuck with shit, and Mandy seemingly teaming up with her mom to help. That seems very much like a fantasy escapism story to me. Three,
and if that didn't happen, it would just be a day or a week in the life of Mandy, and you're like, I don't care.
Also, it's like, of course they don't have to be super powered to be escapism. Have you heard of Batman?
I think I know what's going on. This author just writes the slice of life bullshit, but because this is a superhero comic thingy, she added that bit in at the end because she has to.
Yeah.
And that's why it's out of the blue tagged on. Because it is out of the blue tagged on.
How many more of these nut jobs are going to make arguments that are immediately debunked by the very existence of Batman? This isn't the first time it's happened.
The thing is, how many more of these idiots are going to make arguments so easily debunked by the very existence of their videos?
Well, if she just waited one day, she could have read the comic and actually made a proper response to these.
What? She made this video one day before release?
I think so, yeah.
That's pathetic.
Figures.
Batman debunks everything.
Yeah, the only thing she's debunking is her credibility.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're almost done.
Let's keep going. Yeah, let's just grind it out.
This is that I cannot stress enough. There is not enough of the novel out to make any kind of broad judgments about its content or how people will relate to it.
Okay, so when you have a summary,
I hope you never will be a therapist.
You can make you can make broad statements about a summary. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the reason why they show a summary. Jesus fucking
Because your brain goes, "Huh, I wonder what this is like. Wait a second, I know this plot. This will probably turn out like this." Dun. And you figure out the rest. You speculate and all kinds of speculation.
Isn't it funny that all the people who speculate about it being crap were 100% right about it being crap? Like I say, it's almost like we've gone through this whole fucking roundabout roller coaster carousel fucking shit before. It's almost like we all didn't join the internet yesterday. It's like we've been around for years and have seen this. Just fucking.
Just because a story differs slightly from the convention does not mean that it's going to be bad. Another common complaint I saw is some people were saying that it was really stupid to have Mandy hate one of the most beloved comic characters in Starfire. Teenagers rebel against their parents. Shocking concept, I know. And rebellious teens in particular will claim they hate their parents when they actually don't. And even Starfire could struggle in being a parent and not know the right things to say or do, even if they do mean well. And let's just say that Mandy did outright fully actually despise her mother. The comic could have something to say about how external pressure and even well-meaning pressure from Starfire could be internalized in Mandy, and that leads to her having a growing resentment that builds up to the point that she directs it at her mother, as her mother's stardom and powers is.
I'm really glad you read the summary and premise of the story and are now making headcanon. I'm really glad that you've literally just tried to ignore everything that was written about it, and then trying to force your own headcanon just so that you can pretend there's no controversy around it.
You know, Starfire is, as much as I know about Starfire, she's a character that cares. And if she had, for some insane reason, like being the father figure maybe, a fucked up daughter like that, she would send her to therapy, because this girl needs therapy. Just like a writer.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We've gone through the premise, we've gone through the summary, we've gone through the talking about the character, we can pick up most of the stuff. So this whole idea that now that this person's now making up a headcanon just shows to me that this person doesn't know what she's fucking about.
Before the comic is even fucking out yet.
Yeah, she's doing the very thing that she accuses the critics of.
Yeah.
And she's not seeing it.
Yeah, anyway.
Ours is where it mainly comes from. But Spy, you don't know that. You are absolutely correct. I have no idea what the whole comic is going to be like. Nobody else does either. But people seem really content to run with this idea of a bad self-insert character and a poor.
Yeah. Let's call it. Let's call all these thousands of people that complained and were right. Call it educated guesses.
Yeah, it's almost like, let's put it this way. All those people said this one thing and were 100% right. You've said this other thing and you've been talking to. Oh, fucking hell. I can't even say words today because I'm just so fucking fed up with these fucking videos. And you're just being, like, you're just looking down on them. You've been so wrong on every single point you have said. It is embarrassing how wrong you are.
A point of bringing up other fictional universes to make a point about
genetics. Yeah, but there's no way that you can be so high and mighty about your views when you are so wrong about everything, and it's embarrassing how. But sorry, I'm boring you, Wish. Don't worry.
No, it's just late.
All right,
it's fine.
We're almost done. So
yeah, let's just finish off. But seriously, she's been so wrong in everything. To then say that the other people who were proved right a day later. This is like going the day before 9/11. I don't think any planes are going to crash into there. It's like, yeah, you're pretty wrong.
Yeah, just we did make a 9/11 joke. I think that we might need to be careful. Because the YouTube
yesterday, I think.
Okay.
Written plot when there is so little of it out. And if you've seen everything that they have put out so far for the comic and you are not interested in it, that is completely fine. But I think that people have moved well beyond reasonable criticisms or concerns.
It seems like they put more out about the comic than there is in it.
Very disparaging comments about the character and the author that are incredibly unwarranted. A good example packaged into this one tweet that I saw. This tweet shows some of the
that tweet, yeah.
Weekend Warrior, hey! I'll take a screen cap of that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, what I saw from the preview of Dumpster Fire was our heroine molding at Starfire because she's concerned about Dumpster Fire's college prospects and I shit you not. It's so entitled and petty. Yeah, it is petty. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is what you call it, entitled and petty. because all the mum's doing is saying, "So what college are you going to? Because that's the next step." No, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yay.
Panels
This
with
just
I
looks
have seen
horrible.
about the comic, and it says that it makes the character unlikable, essentially saying that it can be a bad move to have a unlikable protagonist. My only counter to that point would be that we are seeing Mandy at the very beginning of her journey, and we have seen
This
characters.
is not a journey.
she's
This is not a journey. This is a week or a month or something, and she's just doing stuff.
I just love the confidence. I love the confidence. This hat wearing blue trench coat bitch is just going, I definitely know how this is going to go. And then a day later, it comes out that it's the exact opposite of what she said, and it's like, oh, actually, everything we said was right.
If it was a journey
No,
story, it would be this ridiculous Mary Sue scenario where the character just becomes awesome, and you're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Arguably, the last scenes or last parts of the story where she does become awesome and then joins the Teen Titans is kind of Mary Sue-ish, but that's just, very brief. Because again, things pop out of nowhere and she becomes amazing. And
wait, let's put it this way: if it sold well, they do a
well, it just came out, so I don't know. It's been a week.
We'll see.
We'll find
Well,
out.
let's put it this way: they've not spoke about making a sequel to it, and they usually do it quite quickly. So I don't think that's happening.
I'm gonna reread it today, so just to make sure what the hell's going on.
And you know, I bet my kidney on it.
Okay.
I will finish reading it.
Anyway, let's finish this off. Go on.
Characters out as annoying or even full-on jerks who grow into better people and are still entertaining to read about. Now, she always stays unlikable, another story, can't really know that yet. But even if we just completely disregard all of that, it is completely fine to criticize this in the context that you think having a protagonist act this way might turn people off from the rest of the comic. That is a genuine criticism that I can understand, even if I do think that it's being made off of a very small bit of the comic. But how does this somehow circle back into the whole idea of a self-insert? Even if this does turn out to be a bad writing decision, that still doesn't automatically make it a self-insert situation.
Okay.
It makes it a self-insert because it's a self-insert. We've been over this, you fucking moron.
So,
anyway,
if you, I would not be surprised to find that very course of life, minus the alien superpowers, in her biography, in the Office biography.
Well, this is funny that we're talking about self-inserts again. They are neutral. You're right, and we've gone over this. So if it's a bad story, this is making a self-insert. Like, well, what would you call it then? What's the point of this? It's a bad story.
In the beginning, she admitted the complaint that it's a bad insert, but she never addressed the bad part. She just attacked the whole claim that it's a self-insert in the first place.
Yeah, the thing is, I want to know what her definition of an self-insert is.
She does seem to acknowledge that it's a bad character.
Apparently, I think it is the same thing when people confuse Mary Sue with the Perfect Sue. I think she thinks the self-insert must be 100% look-alike with the author.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Mandy only looks 99.99999% like the author because she has a shaved eyebrow. So obviously, it's a completely different person.
The other instance is that the author made the chubby Japanese-American lesbian.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, let's just finish this off. Just whatever.
Get being used to fuel so much of the hate here.
Finally.
Yay. 2 minutes. Here we go.
Listen,
World,
the
yeah.
comic could be absolute trash. It could end up being a lot of the things that people are saying about it. But I don't think people have much of a place to say some of the things that they are, because it's a lot of assumption making and jumping to conclusions based off some weak or disjointed evidence. That is where this differs for me from Snowflake and Safe Space. The comic could have been the most perfectly written thing ever. It would not have mattered. This does.
No,
How?
it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing.
It is
We
literally
see
the
this
same
and
thing.
we know it's trash.
How the hell would you be able to write a perfectly written story with those characters?
I don't think you can.
Unless they're part of some fetish cult or something.
Unless it's a parody. Unless it's a parody story.
Okay.
Yeah, Mandy is literally the same situation as the New Warriors, but on top of that, it's a self-insert. End of story.
I'm just noticing, does Safe Space have a camel toe?
Probably.
They are...
I think.
He's a male, but she's gender whatever.
No, she's a
something?
girl.
Yeah, but
he has a camel
fluid
toe.
or whatever. Yeah, he's a guy, but she's a weird whatever.
She's an idiot.
Weird.
That's good. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Oh god.
The whole thing is, it's like, oh, we could just look at Snowflake in the Safe Space or whatever the fuck we are, and say,
Safe Space.
Matthias, I don't care. I don't care what their actual names are. But what I'm saying is, how can we look at those and make that assumption? But when we do the same with Mandy with I Am Not Starfire, it's wrong. Is it because maybe, just maybe, you the creativist like connected with a depressed teenager because they may have been a depressed teenager who wanted to just given to him?
With I Am Not Starfire, the premise is a lot simpler, so you can work with this a bit better. It's still a very narrow road that you have to create your character and have them go through some problems. With the New Warriors, it's like, oh my god, this is like the JLA on retard pills. It's just like, how do you work? How do you work with that?
Thankfully, it was killed off the next day. So
yeah, no, it's not. I can't even begin to think, how would this work?
It's too much bad at once. Dumpster Fire is the same level, but it's only one character.
Yeah,
and that's probably why it went through.
And I think you can. I think you can work with the premise. Not the synopsis that we got, but if you want to, like we talked about how she could feel jealous about her mom, she can't become her mom, and that's a constant thing. But that's not as big a deal or a conflict in the story, because again, it's not about that. It's about her going through her month and crushing on a girl who doesn't quite like her, and then she wins her at the end for some dumb reason, and then she gets her superpower. Like, all these things just start happening at the end, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Like I said in the beginning, there's no conflict in the comic.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
a
like,
event.
Here's her friend, here's her other friend, here's her hair dye, here's her lunch, and it's like, I don't know why you're showing me all this crap. There's nothing here. So, again, it's the Japanese mentality, and it doesn't matter if it's the person's Asian or Chinese or whatever. It's the Japanese storytelling of just stuff happens. It's philosophical. It's this big Zen moment of reminisce.
Stories, you can still have conflict. There's no conflict in this comic.
Well,
there's setups to conflict, but they don't go forward with that.
Yeah, there's no like actual follow up to it.
Like you got all those slice of life in the manga. All of them have conflicts. Somewhat of a conflict.
Well, they usually have an actual thing that they want. Like, I'm going to go sell my monster pelts that I just killed from the last manga. And, no one can buy them because they're so rare. What do? I have to change that and find another store or travel to another place to sell them. Mm-hmm. And they just keep going with that. And they get into another scenario and they have to deal with that. And that becomes the overarching plot to get to the town to sell their pelts while they're dealing with this other conflicts. And another manga comes out and you just read that one. So that's generally how you would do it. In this thing, it's just goes to school, goes home, goes back to school, has a fight, goes home, has a fight.
Okay, complains more. Yeah.
Like again, the conflict doesn't mean that necessarily mean physical conflict. It's just something
No.
in the way of the character.
There's something that they're
Of which there is nothing.
yeah, like the interview with the guidance counselor about where she wants to go, and she's just like, I don't want to go to college. You're like, then what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go to France. You're like, how? What are you talking about?
Let's go. You want to go to France? What are you going to do?
Yeah, but she's not serious. She's not actually like figuring that out. She just wants to do it.
Just
Saying it.
saying it.
There's references
Yeah.
to it later in the story, but it's just her friend talking about it. It's just her talking to the girl she likes about France, her talking to her mom, and then she gets angry because her mom's like, no, you got to go to college. Like, oh. Doesn't amount to anything. And then she just joins the Teen Titans. You're like, oh, all right, sure. Stuff happens. The comic with unattractive daughter of superhero heroine. Yay. And her ugly outfits and hair and weird hairstyles. I don't know why they kept changing her hair. That's too much. Too much effort into character. Why do they have to change the character design every 7 pages? Different outfits, different hairstyles. Like, can't you just have one? And she's a schoolgirl and just focus on the story, not how she looks. She doesn't look very good. Strange
Honestly,
focus.
90 comedies or 90 teenage comedies that have better stories than this comic.
It's a weird thing. I have to reread it one more time just to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about, because I wasn't too interested the first time, but I'll give it another gander. Anyway, we have a minute and a bit left, and we'll get to stream memes.
Design and name choice was inherently the problem, completely independent of what story it took place in. I Am Not Starfire doesn't seem to have much about it that makes its mere existence an inherent problem. People are making
You're
a
blind.
problem out of things that
Yes, it
might
does. You are
happen, or
blind.
their interpretation
blind
of what
and
information
ignorant.
we have so far, or they're making, from what I can tell, baseless claims about the author of the comic, and that's my
Educated
issue with
guesses.
the amount and the
Why
ferocity
not
of this
those
backlash.
claims?
This is
Can't
well
be true.
beyond the internet just not liking a concept. And again, being super clear, you don't have to be excited for the comics. Doubts about it and how it will turn out are 100% fine. I'm just concerned with the claims about the author being brought up into this, and the comments being made about a lesbian character simply existing,
no.
somehow
Oh,
being
no.
inherently pandering, mockery
It's
of the
not
characters, and
because
even the
she
author's
is
imagined
lesbian.
size. Now people are making
Oh,
a lot of
no.
generalized comments
Oh,
about
no,
the entire
sweetheart,
plot of a
no.
comic that isn't even
Oh
Oh,
god.
sweetie, no, sweetheart, no, come here. Don't
You're
worry.
so
Cry on my
dumb.
shoulder. Oh no. Oh, it's terrible. The internet's a mean place. No, don't worry. Oh no.
Hey, author, your
Fucking
book
gross.
sucks. Goodbye.
Yeah, cry on my shoulder so that I can
Yeah.
Hachi Mishima off you off the cliff. Because
Yeah,
you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, I'm just like, she's like doing all this stuff. I'm just like, oh no, sorry.
It's
No,
funny
I
that
don't care.
one day later the comic comes out and it is trash.
Yeah, it's. Oh, but people are going after the author. Okay. And they're saying that there's a problem about the lesbian just existing. No, they're not. But they are. But they're never not. But they are. But they're not. But anyway. It's like, oh no, I'm going to the, like, obviously she moved, she animated it as well with like that shocked face, and it's like, oh, I get it, emotional manipulation. Okay. Oh no. I don't have emotions. I got rid of them in my teenage years when I was not Starfire. I don't care.
We are
Alright.
emotions. We don't have emotions here.
Let's just finish it off.
let's
Let's
go.
just finish it off. Yeah.
isn't even out. That's where I have my issues. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it was
you
up
got to this
tomorrow
point in
after you made the video.
Given how much everyone else seems to disagree with me on this one, I am hoping people will actually listen to my points instead of just disliking
Nope.
and leaving a very ill-informed comment that will make them look like an idiot,
Ill-informed.
and I will laugh at them. But the internet is crazy and
Yeah,
really
what-
kind, so as opposed
I want to see your follow-up.
It's over.
I want to see a follow-up
No.
video after you read the comic after it came out.
Yeah, we're finished with that. We're very, but she just goes when everyone else looks like a fool. Oh my god! No wonder you've got downvoted to hell. Wow! You really thought you were on the winning side.
All right, stream memes time, guys.
Yes, stream ads,
Yay,
yes.
yay.
So this is the
Yeah,
actual I think this is the last panel. I can't remember. This is where she's working at the Teen Titans, and she has this god awful outfit, and she can fly.
Oh my god!
Wait, what? I'm not there yet. Hold on.
Oh my god! Why would you?
Oh god,
that
no.
just looks like.
Comic Gate is recovered.
Yeah, you should see her when she kisses her love that she somehow wins over. I don't even remember how. It's like, oh, it doesn't look attractive at all.
Oh god.
Here we go. Oh no. Oh, Mandy dearest, we got you a birthday present, but you have to wait until tomorrow. You'd like to wait till I was dead, wouldn't you? You'd like to see maggots eat my face. Oh my god.
Wait, that's a real panel?
No.
No, that's a fourth.
Wait, which one? The first one? Yes.
The green thing?
Yeah,
The
that's
green
yeah,
thing.
that's
Manga,
Yeah, the one
anime,
above.
and
Oh
Netflix
my
adaptation.
god. Oh my god.
Yeah, she looks nothing like her, guys. No, it's completely, totally different.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it is the shape of eyebrow. You can see there.
Okay.
Cannot believe this.
Cannot. It's great.
No.
Love it.
This is seriously, this is mentally ill.
When you order something online versus when it arrives.
Yeah.
Oh. Bad comic art of 2010, yeah. Good comic art of 2021. The artwork, not so good. The coloring, I like the color palette. I don't know why.
the colors are in the lines. We'll give it credit.
Yeah. They're digital. Where are you, Mike Testa? Oh no. Where's Mike Testa? Starfire. Oh god.
Oh, that's great. I also like the fact that it's a New York Times best-selling author. It's very easy to be the New York Times best-selling author these days. You know, you just have to sell a book.
Everyone is the best-selling author.
Everyone's
Starfire, Blackfire, Dumpster Fire. Ah, fantastic. Love it.
I can be called Toucans and Parrots, and I would be a best-selling author for the New York Times.
Non-German speakers mispronouncing German words, mispronouncing issue or issue. I sue is sue. For the 10,000th time.
It's what your Canadianism is.
I like to pronounce every letter of the words I read. I sue.
Yeah.
This
This is not Japanese. And even that.
This all happened before, and it will happen again. Yeah. Thanks, Hans. Oh my god. What? Oh, that's the backpack girl. What's her name?
Yeah, Trailblazer.
Trailblazer.
whom they race swapped during the during creation.
What? What was she before?
Yeah, she was light skinned in the beginning, and then they blackened her.
Why not make it as retarded as possible? Let's just throw.
Yeah, they noticed. Oh, we don't have enough dark characters. Oh.
She's not diverse enough. We got to give her a peg leg.
Yeah,
she's a pirate now. It's not an innuendo. It's a prophecy. Oh god.
Look at that, Luis. Your prophecy. Just.
Oh, you switched the mouth around.
Today's
god
super chats in a nutshell. Why is it the juice? What are you talking about?
The juice.
I don't know. Ah, because the joke names.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we'll go with that.
I was going with O.J. Simpson. What the hell are you guys talking about?
For some reason, I thought like the juice. I remembered the situation from Jersey Shore for some godforsaken reason.
From Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't know what's happening in France,
My
but
brain's fucked up that way.
Yeah, France. We're going to France. France, not even once.
I know it's
Why would you
not
go?
all
That's
right.
the underwear gnomes. They steal your underwear to make profit.
I'll be honest. It'll be funny as hell if Mandy actually gets banned from France for some goddamn reason.
Phase 1, France. Phase 2, Phase 3, profit.
Profit, yeah.
Punks before, punks now. Oh my god. No sexism, no racism, no ableism, no ageism, no homophobia, no fatphobia, no transphobia, no hatefulness?
That's an actual
exactly.
Antifa sticker.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, the punk scene is like the most following the government's rule. They're the least punk people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because it was completely taken over by socialism, which is a pro-government movement, just not of the government that's currently in place.
Here's
Oh, Scott Pilgrim destroy a generation of women.
Oh,
here's my lack of funds for the day from Mike Testa. Can't find Mike Testa anywhere. Anna TSWG's 10-minute redraw.
Star Wars
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, Star Wars Girl.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That's.
I mean,
She's not better than that, but she tried
still
to.
not-
I'm not.
Yeah, that's
No,
still not
she-
great,
she-
but it's an improvement.
It's not.
Well, she tried to draw her more as an alien.
Well,
So
she gave her high heels. Like, how much smaller does she have to get? Like, come on.
She had,
Now she's
She
even
has to
more
be admit-
obese because her height is like 2 inches off the ground now. So it's like, oh god.
Oh no! She manages to fit into a corset at least.
Oh god. I don't want to think about that. The Starfire comic in a nutshell: extreme political correctness.
yep.
That's from the Digimon controversy that happened on Twitter.
I honestly don't see this as SJW isms. I just think it's really bad ideas.
I mean, SJWs are full of borderline girls.
You could show that parallel, but I just see it as a bad idea, or sorry,
Yeah,
a bad execution of it.
Yeah.
Not
I think it's
every
there are probably lines in that theater play that are more fitting.
No.
Jake
Not
the
every
Surgeon,
one-
is this Mike Testa? What? I think I said that last week about
I
someone.
said that. I said
Hey,
that.
it's my
Yeah.
tester.
Today was Jake. Yes, last
Yeah.
week it was someone else. I can't remember, but anyway.
Yeah.
When you're 17 and your mom has yet to buy you a car. That's great.
That's great. Yeah.
That rich, spoiled kid
Oh,
from
no.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my god.
Love it.
My god.
Oh my god.
Oh, that tube goes straight to the incinerator.
Oh my
But
god.
if I
Make
could clean it,
DC
I'd
fun
use
again.
it.
I can't read that. It's very tiny text, but
It's also a bit much.
we'll check it out later.
But I'll keep that.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in the browser.
Hey, Mike Testa. Hey, Super Chats, credit card. Who killed credit card? Either Mike has lost his credit card or he's over his limit.
Mm-hmm.
You did it to yourself, Mike.
Mike, no. Oh my god. They gave her the
Yeah,
Oh god.
the eyes.
Hell, is the-
Lipstick.
Oh no, now it's 100%.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Look at that, guys.
Jesus.
Completely different. Oh,
Thanks, Ken.
Ken, no.
The blobfish.
What is happening?
That's the blobfish. Or rather, a dead blobfish.
Fat cock,
Dead.
fat cock. All right, that's. I mean,
Wait, why am I saying fat cock?
is that a piece of chicken? I don't, what?
It
That
is
is
a
a- that is a-
chicken.
That is a
It
chicken.
is a chicken.
A fried chicken? Or,
It's
no, it's a
alive.
real chicken.
She's alive.
No, it's a live chicken.
I
Is
honestly
that a
can't
piece
tell.
of? It's a live chicken.
Yeah, the color is kind of like it looked like it could be cooked, but no, it's feathers. Okay.
Because Hawk's making her look like she's fried.
All right, Mike Testa is back.
Yeah.
SpyVV. Okay, that's the name of the YouTuber with an extra V. I don't know how you figured that out, Mike, but you did. How are they the same? And we're looking at the video in question. And there's Hawk and myself. And we're like, what the hell?
It was so blatant, though. It was...
Very fitting avatar.
It's so fucking obvious.
Demon Slayer manga outsells entire American comic book industry. Yes, that's true. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
All right, we got what is happening here? We got Robin, and that is
That is from Apocalypse 4, the first one.
yeah. So it's Robin and what's her name?
Raven.
Raven. Thank you. There is
That's Raven. Light side Raven.
Is that other Robin and
That's Nightwing and Starfire as a cyborg.
Yeah,
Cyborg?
some of them
Wow.
are cyborgs because of the events of the Apocalypse War.
Oh, girl, that's
And
crazy.
Should be noted as the last New 52 movie.
Okay, holy, I've never seen that one. I probably don't want to, but anyway.
When I watched that, I noticed that DC, when they cyborg anyone, it's always the left eye that's roboticized.
Because of Superman, right?
I don't know why it's always the same side of the skull.
Oh.
Makes sense for me.
Then we have
the main thing is, did the helmet preserve the brain?
Oh no, she has no brain. It's okay.
Ah, okay.
Then we have Titans, the show, which I don't know if it's still around.
It's season 3 now.
Wow.
It's still crap.
Then we have the Starfire. I'm not Starfire comic, and what's the one on the top right? I can't quite.
That's Starfire on the Apocalypse War. She was teared down apart by a parody.
Yeah, that's her entrails.
Oh my god! Holy crap!
Yeah. The beginning is brutal.
And then we have actual Starfire and the original Teen Titans.
Yeah, I found the movie very lacking because it's just, hey, you do this 18+ gore, this R-rated gore, but the writing is still childish and contrived and crap.
All right, and here is Mark posting the like and dislike ratio.
Ooh.
As you can see, 2K downvotes. So
that's a burn.
Yeah, same by Eric. BLM Black Lives. Mateus?
Does that make sense?
What? All right. I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me. What is that thing?
It's an eyebrow.
It's an eyebrow.
That? Oh. All right.
No, I don't know what. All I said was, like, I don't know, just get rid of them. Eyebrows are scary.
Considering your avatar has eyebrows that look like a sperm whale, I don't know. That's kind of...
I'm fine with eyebrows. It was called making a joke.
Sperm whale. What the fuck?
Robin, if we get the married, we will adopt. Okay.
On the time machine.
That's great.
But the thing is, this Robbie is not even the father of the girl because the girl is ginger. Robbie is to have black hair.
I'm not going to bombard you with comments, just one in particular. Starfire already has a daughter, Mary Grayson, aka Nightstar, which, by the way, her story is... okay, yeah, but that's, again, different universe. That's fine.
Vastly better than whatever this fanfic is. DC could have done more with her, but instead do this. Yeah.
She does not dismiss. She dismisses the comment.
Wow.
I doubt you watched my full video then, because O discussed Mary Grayson.
Oh god, this is not a sentence.
And
She missed out.
And her not being featured, which is totally fine.
I like the upvotes. You disregard like 90% of the comment. Yeah, that's exactly what Turf Nation did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I must have written like 13 or 14 sentences, and it just says it's okay to dislike stuff. It's like, no, you actually said in your video it's not okay. Like, why bother responding to these people at that point? It's like you can't have a conversation if they're not listening.
Basically, James are bound for being more feminine and wearing revealing outfits, even after explaining to us that she wears less clothing to absorb sun rays for her powers.
Yeah.
Yep, that exactly happened in the comic.
Smud getting progressively
Actually-
angrier. Look at it. Gets close to the mic. Look at it. No.
Wasn't that me?
It's Smud now. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
We're all equally angry at this retarded.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
SpyV's videos. Movies that are way more gay than they first appear. Oh, wow.
Oh god, she did Luca.
How Wolverine is that?
The problem of rewriting women with superpowers. Thanks, I hate it. What?
What the fuck?
Okay, she's not smart. She is weird.
That is a very...
She's weird and projecting the gay everywhere. She's a fetishist.
Also, what the hell is the Wario Land Dragon power up? What?
I mentioned it. This is the best power in all the Mario games. It's awesome. You get a flamethrower on your head.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the star where you become a living rainbow of death.
Ah, Dragon Head.
Superstar.
Heavy flamer.
Okay.
Invisibly.
The comic community, we don't have an issue with homophobia in our community. Me suddenly gets an influx of homophobic comments on my Pride Month video after criticizing the comic community. Me.
Are you sure about that?
Nice to see some examples.
Yeah.
Baby,
Yeah.
why do so many gay people and trans people and whatever hate this rainbow movement? Explain it to me. Are we all homophobic and transphobic? Really?
Yes, we are.
Is that
We
your
are.
logic?
No.
If we don't like the stupid opinion that you have for us, aren't you cis and hetero-splaining to us or something?
Yeah.
So this is what they actually do in France. They light police cars on
They
fire.
like cars.
Yeah, I just like the. I don't want to go to college. I want to go to France. Yeah, what to do? What? Whatever to do in France. It's like.
Kill the police.
Oh, Mike Testa's back, and he just.
Which set of
He's like he's taking memes and making new memes.
It's like Wario Wisp. Jersey and the Dragon Pub.
It's like
SpyV's
memeception
videos.
or something.
England,
love
what are you doing, by the way?
Oh my god, what is that?
That's
Oh my god, no.
Oh,
Oh god.
that's the
Oh god.
that's the SS. What?
What is that?
What?
That is Jim Sterling.
Oh, you're
That is
serious?
Stephanie Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the SS.
Holy crap.
Stephanie Sterling. You get it right.
Fuck it. This is not trans. This is just insane.
That
It's
is
just
terrifying. Holy crap. Are you sure it's not an act? He's like dressing up as an act for his YouTube
No.
channel, or
He claims he's trans now, but anyone who has this condition, no.
are you
can
sure
say
he's
no.
are you sure he's not like one of those drag queens but really doing a bad job?
He claims he is a crossdresser,
Well,
Oh,
but he claims to be trans now for clout.
holy crap.
Standard thing, just with more
I feel
insane,
like he
disgusting
can only
shit.
survive in an anime convention, and everyone's like, "What character are you?" And I'm like, "Me." You're like, "What? No." that
It was the SS.
Yeah,
me,
it's
it's
also
me.
why it's also why many when you go to an anime convention, cosplayers are often let in with lower prices or even for free. But many conventions have rules like, yeah, you don't go as a standard Japanese schoolboy character because that's just pants and a dress shirt.
So this is great. I want a goth GF, and I want her now. Here's Mandy saying hi.
I know the quote at the bottom actually.
I love it. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created here on earth?
That's
Mhm.
literally from Spy Kids 2, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, another stolen meme.
Oh my god.
It's 2.0. It's
Like-
a better version.
Oh.
It's the better version.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's replaced the text with a picture.
Didn't you do this meme already, Mike? You just put the
Yeah,
face.
he updated. He updated it.
The English language, but Mike's actually spelt correctly.
For once.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. The text is still there. He just plastered the picture over the text.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
picture of a text.
There are kidneys inside my body. Oh.
Yeah.
Smud trying to hide his love for I Am Not Starfire while reading it again. What? Honestly, I skimmed through it. I read a bit, and I was like, "This is not my thing," and I don't know who it's for. But I got the major points or the major scenes because they were colorful.
God.
What is
My eyes.
the best donuts in the universe?
Eric, why did you post that?
Eric,
How the hell did you get?
Pretty sure he got
Don't
that on DeviantArt.
worry.
I can finally share the cover for my new DC Comics graphic novel with the amazing basic economics LGBT community. Who is the target audience?
Aren't we forgetting one teensy weensy but ever so crucial little detail? Who is the targeted audience?
Yes. Never forget the best version of Hades, voiced by James Woods.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Best Disney villain just for that.
Oh God.
Wow. There it is, the Netflix.
Oh, no.
adaptation.
Oh my God. I can't believe. I still can't believe this is real.
Literally,
watched
the
it.
next
I don't want to watch it. I'm okay in my little bubble.
It is not worth it at all.
It is very, very peaceful here.
Fuck Batman.
I need those kidneys. Shouldn't have made the bet. Cunt. Oh my God.
Well, that's one of the things. She went, I bet my left kidney. Literally a day later, you've just lost a kidney.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Raven. Hey, I know Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So true.
Oh, hey, yeah. The juice.
Hey.
Oh, GC. So
The best donuts in the universe.
I'll strike you with the wrath of God.
Oh my God. What is happening?
I don't know.
Mike Testa, when H on the Smud poll gets so close but loses, I'll get you Smud Boy next time.
Dr. Claw.
What
yeah.
was H on the... I don't even remember. What was it?
It was Steven
Universe is a bad round table.
Oh,
when
God.
when it clearly fucking is.
All right.
Especially later.
With Vergis Joe.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. All right, folks. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it sucked. It sucked horribly, like they all do.
We laughed at it like we always do.
Anyway, that was great. Thank you so much for the time and all the wonders of watching a crazy video with us. It's always a fun time. So take it easy, guys. Have yourself a great evening. Keep the suggestions coming. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow.